Our guy Takuma is just walking home on Christmas Eve when a sudden jarring accident stops him in his tracks, hearing bystanders whisper about a car running a red light and realizing he's the one caught in this tragic mess. Thinking about his unfinished work and family while fading out until a mysterious girl with glowing eyes appears before him, waking him up in a daze as he stares back, and they both freak out because they're suddenly moving fast. Leaving our boy totally confused by this strange new reality as they drift together toward a magical floating island kingdom. They soar through the clouds toward a floating landmass, while the girl explains that this is not the afterlife he expected, and she casually drops the bombshell that she is actually a goddess, showing off her festive outfit while asking what he thinks of Christmas, leaving our guy feeling pretty weird about how lightly she treats his passing. As he touches his face in disbelief that he still looks the same, and she points out how lucky he is to keep his memories and strength, asking if he has any big dreams for this fresh start in life, though she admits she really could not care less about his past, so he decides to look forward instead of dwelling on his previous life. He offers a quick prayer for everyone he left behind while she keeps pushing him to pick a new dream, so he admits that a fantasy life with magic sounds cool. But she immediately pivots to wanting a romantic partner for Christmas, and she teases him about needing a girlfriend for this journey, bringing up his past heartbreak just to get a reaction. Then she suddenly reaches out to grab his hand, leaving him totally flustered by her bold and unexpected move, as she casually mentions that polygamy is totally fine here, and tells him to just enjoy the ride while finding love. Takuma remains skeptical about her vague methods for finding a destined partner, and she suddenly leans in close, catching him completely off guard again, suggesting that maybe she is the one he was meant to find. But then she realizes she forgot to mention one very important detail, revealing she gave him a special ability to help him survive this world before she playfully jumps away, leaving him to process the sudden news. While he accidentally loses his balance and starts plummeting toward the ground below, watching in horror as she floats away, leaving him to face a terrifying fall as his tie snags on a branch, barely slowing down his rapid descent, and he closes his eyes, bracing for the impact of this disastrous start. Takuma finally hits the ground after that terrifying, uncontrolled freefall, and he wakes up dazed in the middle of a mysterious forest. Realizing his fall was cushioned by the thick Russian trees, but he barely has time to complain before hearing a low growl, turning around to find a massive, snarling beast staring him down, and the creature lunges forward, forcing him to scramble away in panic while he screams about the size of this monster and his life, desperately calling out for that goddess to save him from this mess when she suddenly reappears to intervene just as the beast attacks him. Leaving our boy completely stunned by her dramatic and timely rescue. She checks on him immediately, asking if he is hurt, and Takuma is left completely speechless by her overwhelming display of power, quickly thanking his savior for stepping in to stop the threat. But she just laughs it off, acting like it was no big deal, while she suddenly shifts her focus to something much more pressing, producing a mysterious item out of thin air with a flourish, revealing that the beast has been transformed into a delicious-looking meal. As he stares at the strange result of her magical ability, so they both decide to sit down and enjoy the unexpected feast, finally feeling a bit more relaxed as they eat their strange lunch. Takuma winces at his minor injuries while the goddess stays close, and he sighs about how chaotic his new life has been so far, wondering where he would even be without her constant, cheerful presence. So he decides to ask if she actually lives around these parts, but she seems caught off guard by his simple, direct question, leaving her completely blank as she tries to recall her own identity. And she starts questioning who she is with a confused, starry expression, which makes our guy panic, thinking she might have total memory loss while she struggles to remember her own name or where she belongs, until she suddenly cheers, realizing she goes by the name Mao. Takuma accepts her name and introduces himself, keeping things friendly between them, and she decides to give him a cute nickname to match his vibe, while she points out that he looks totally unprepared for a real adventure. So he plays along with her confusion to hide his true origins, thinking about how impossible it would be to explain his situation to her, when she suddenly brings up the topic of his destined romantic partner, asking him with genuine curiosity what kind of person he is looking for, but he admits he has no clue how to even find someone, leaving her to gush over how romantic and exciting this whole mystery is, as she continues to dream about his future love life with pure enthusiasm. Mao teases him about his lack of excitement regarding their romantic future, while he remains focused on the practical reality of surviving in this world. And they agree that figuring out their basic needs is the top priority, though she insists that finding a wealthy and strong partner is still essential, until their conversation is suddenly interrupted by a distant, desperate cry for help, prompting Mao to immediately jump into action and head toward the sound, where they discover a mysterious woman being cornered by a dangerous dark wolf, as the terrified stranger begs them to save her from the beast. And Mao recognizes the creature as the same type they fought earlier, so she charges forward without hesitation to protect the innocent bystander once again. Takuma notices something feels off about the scene unfolding before him, and he realizes the surroundings seem far too pristine for a struggle, while the dark creature looms over the woman in a tense standoff, as a sinister grin spreads across the face of the encroaching beast. revealing its true, menacing form as it prepares to strike the target, leaving our guy completely shocked by the sudden turn of events. While a small, determined girl rushes in to intercept the flying menace, and Takuma scrambles to find a way to distract the aggressive creature, throwing a stone in a desperate attempt to draw its attention away. But the monster ignores his efforts, focusing entirely on its next move. A small, glowing orb suddenly manifests out of thin air, and it launches toward the monster with incredible, unexpected speed, leaving the creature completely stunned as it realizes the projectile accelerated. While the magical blast connects perfectly with the beast's face, and Mao cheers in delight, surprised that her attack actually landed. But the monster is clearly annoyed, brushing off the hit with a scowl as it retaliates with a powerful blast that forces Takuma to dive away. While the creature floats there, smugly preparing to unleash even more projectiles, leaving our guy panicking about how he can possibly survive this onslaught. So Mao decides to escalate things by conjuring a massive fireball of her own. Mao gets super excited as she successfully conjures a massive, roaring fireball, while the monster looks absolutely terrified by the sudden surge of raw power, realizing with dread that he is facing a high-level entity after all. She declares that it is time to punish the naughty creature for attacking, and launches her blazing projectile straight at the cowering beast with pure confidence, leaving the entire area scorched and smoking after such an overwhelming magical display. She points out that the monster is somehow still hanging on, then notices something dropped on the ground and rushes over to investigate it as Takuma checks on her, making sure she is not hurt from the blast. But he suddenly pauses, sniffing the air because something smells like it is burning. Mao curiously inspects the mysterious item she found, wondering what could be inside, but Takuma suddenly notices her back is actually on fire from the blast, causing them both to freak out as they scramble to find some water. While she looks around with wide eyes, trying to track down a nearby source, and she quickly spots a lake, leading him on a frantic dash toward it. Until they finally reach the water, relieved to have found a way to cool off, so she leaps into the air with excitement, ready to dive right into the lake, splashing down into the depths with a massive, dramatic sound that echoes everywhere as they both surface together, completely soaked but finally safe from the burning heat, and she laughs joyfully, clearly having the time of her life despite the chaotic day. Mal pops up from the water, looking refreshed after their narrow escape, and she stretches out her arms, clearly loving the cool, relaxing dip while Takuma watches her, amused by her endless energy despite the chaos. But then he notices his shirt floating away, ruined by the recent fire, lamenting that he really needs some tools to fix his damaged clothes. As he reaches out to grab the drifting fabric from the lake, feeling a bit awkward while he tries to salvage his only spare outfit before they both take a moment to look out at the horizon. And Mao sighs happily, enjoying the peaceful atmosphere of their little break, so they climb out and dry off, ready to continue their journey together. Mao checks in on our guy while he finishes patching up her damaged clothes, and she is super excited to finally have a fresh outfit to wear again, while Takuma makes sure she is feeling okay after that whole burning incident earlier. She looks absolutely adorable in her new attire, clearly loving the stylish, frilly look. And Takuma cannot help but compliment how cute she looks in the new dress while she gushes over his impressive sewing skills, totally amazed by his hidden talent, explaining that she just happened to find some spare fabric and tools nearby earlier. So she praises his handiwork, calling him surprisingly handy for a guy like him, and he decides it is time to check the loot they recovered from the monster, as they prepare to pack up and leave the forest before more trouble arrives. Mao expresses her genuine happiness over the new outfit Takuma helped her fix, and she apologizes for acting tough when she really does not know much. But he brushes it off, telling her not to worry about those little things, so she excitedly declares that she will help him find his destined romantic partner, promising to highlight all his best traits until he finally meets the right person, and she immediately suggests they head toward a busy town to start the search, laughing off her own memory loss as she focuses entirely on his future love, while she insists that he should drop the formalities and call her by name, leaving Takuma impressed by her relentless optimism despite the strange situation they are in, so he grabs a map and follows her lead toward the nearest civilization. Mal points out a flower that seems to be acting as a natural compass, and she playfully places the bloom on Takuma's head to brighten up his look, while a giant hungry plant suddenly snaps at them from the nearby thicket, shifting the scene to a bustling town square where adventurers gather in crowds, as Takuma stands there holding a sign while Mao tries to attract some attention, jumping back in time a few hours to see how they reach this spot, where the duo finally arrives at the gates after their long, tiring journey, and Mao cheers with pure excitement as she takes in the lively city streets, marveling at how busy and vibrant the marketplace feels compared to the quiet forest, while Takuma struggles to catch his breath after their frantic dash to get here. Takuma is totally exhausted from their long trek, wondering how they even made it here, while Mao remains completely oblivious to his fatigue, already focused on the next big step as they finally step into the bustling city, surrounded by all sorts of fantasy creatures. And she insists they dive straight into finding his soulmate before doing anything else practical, claiming she has a brilliant plan to get him noticed by the locals immediately. So she forces him to wear a sign advertising his search for a romantic partner while she cheers him on, convinced that this ridiculous method is bound to work wonders, and she drags him deeper into the city, ready to kick off their social experiment, leaving the pair to wander through the crowded streets as the sun begins to set, but nobody seems interested in their sign, leaving them standing awkwardly in the town square. Just when they were about to give up, a mysterious girl approaches them, asking if they have a moment to chat in a more private setting while Mao gets incredibly excited, convinced that this is finally his destined romantic partner, leading them away from the crowded square toward a much quieter, secluded area. As they walk through the bustling town, passing by various adventurers and local shops, with Takuma still carrying his gear while trying to process this sudden development, and he looks completely stunned by the unexpected turn of events unfolding before him, noting how the people here look like characters straight out of a fantasy game, while he remains genuinely impressed by the sheer detail of this strange new world. As the girl continues to talk, clearly impressed by the quality of his clothing, this mysterious girl seems super interested in the unique clothes our guy is wearing, and she politely asks where he managed to get such high-quality gear from, leaving Mao completely shocked that they are being questioned about their mysterious origins. This elf introduces herself as Leash, a local who works at the Adventure Guild, so Takuma explains that he is just a traveler who recently met his companion. While Mao awkwardly admits that they both have memory issues and do not know much, causing the elf to look a bit suspicious about the origins of their attire. But she quickly pivots to complimenting his impressive handiwork on the outfit instead, and Mao blurts out their real mission to find his soulmate in this city, leaving Takuma panicking as he tries to explain his vague, forgotten memories to her. Mao gets excited browsing the guild menu, pointing out all the delicious snacks available. But she quickly realizes that her dream dessert costs a small fortune in local currency, leaving Takuma with a look of pure shock as the reality of their poverty hits, because they have absolutely no money and zero memories of how to get any either, until Mao remembers she has a shiny, mysterious stone tucked away in her pocket, and she asks if this loot from their recent monster fight is actually edible, causing Leash to chuckle while explaining that these are actually valuable monster stones, which are essentially rare drops used for trading or selling at the local guild. So they head straight to the reception desk to see how much cash they get, where the guild clerk greets them with a friendly smile, clearly familiar with the elf. Takuma asks the receptionist to exchange their monster loot for some much-needed cash, while the helpful clerk introduces herself as Rain and offers to guide the pair, explaining that the item they found is actually a rare B-rank monster stone. And she breaks down the ranking system while warning them against getting scammed elsewhere, so the duo celebrates their good fortune since the stone covers their living expenses. And Takuma receives a heavy bag of coins, feeling relieved to finally have funds, while Rain teases him about his serious personality, reminding him to stay cautious out there as he realizes that he truly has no memories of his past life. So Rain suggests checking the guild's bulletin board to help Mao find her family, and she mentions that local orphanages might also be an option for the girl. Rain explains that the guild helps those without family find support through local religious groups, and she turns to Mao, asking the girl what she actually wants to do next, but Mao gets way too excited, shouting that she wants to help Takuma find his soulmate, so they decide to hire an artist to sketch a portrait of her for the board, hoping that someone in the city might recognize her and help them track down her family, while Takuma shifts his focus to finding a place to sleep now that they have funds, and Leash kindly suggests a local inn that she personally recommends for travelers like them, claiming the location is super convenient since it sits right near all the main shops, so they happily agree to follow her lead, excited to finally get settled in town. As they head out into the busy streets, ready to start their new life together, Leash leads the pair through the lively streets, pointing out a shop called the Dwarf's Hideout, and she explains that it is the perfect place for them to stock up on supplies, so they step inside the bustling store, immediately surrounded by all sorts of useful gear, while Takuma marvels at the sheer variety of items available for adventurers in this world, noting how the shop feels much larger on the inside than it appears from the street, and he wonders aloud about the mysterious divine protection that seems to influence their journey, while Mao gets distracted by a shelf full of adorable, plush-looking animal toys, excitedly calling out to Leash as she spots a cute bird figurine on display, but she accidentally triggers a magical item, causing a sudden gust of wind to blow. So she panics and apologizes, only to learn it was just a harmless wind-generating tool. Takuma and his companions finish up their shopping trip, feeling relieved to have everything they need, while a pair of mysterious observers watches them from the shadows, tracking their every move as the group steps out of the shop and back into the bright, bustling city streets. Mao expresses her delight at their successful outing, happy to be helping out her new friend. Though Takuma realizes they have accumulated quite a large pile of supplies to carry around, so he asks about the magical bag he is using, which seems to hold an endless amount, struggling to adjust the strap as he marvels at the convenience of such a rare item, while Leash explains that it is a special storage pouch, likely another gift of divine protection, and Takuma decides to ask her for more information about this world and its mysterious monster. So she agrees to explain everything to him, but suggests they grab a meal first. Our hungry duo finally sits down to enjoy a warm, hearty meal together, while the bustling tavern provides the perfect backdrop for their first real break as Leash introduces them to a local specialty that looks quite unique, and they both dig in, clearly impressed by the surprisingly delicious flavor profile, while the elf explains that this spot is famous for affordable regional dishes. Though Takuma realizes it is a traditional recipe from her own elven homeland, leaving them both stunned by the intense, herbal kick of the authentic seasoning, as they share a laugh over the overwhelming taste and their shared experience until they eventually finish every last bite, leaving their bowls completely empty, and they argue playfully over who gets to cover the bill for the feast. Takuma insists on treating Leash to a meal as a thank you for her help. and she happily accepts his kind offer, clearly touched by his genuine and polite gesture, so they head out of the tavern together, leaving the lively atmosphere behind them for now. But suddenly, Leash starts feeling strange as a mysterious, unsettling sensation washes over her, and she collapses into a dark alleyway, struggling to maintain her composure in the shadows while Takuma rushes over, deeply concerned about her sudden and unexplained physical distress. As she winces in pain, her face flushing as she tries to fight off the effect, while a pair of suspicious individuals lurk nearby, watching the scene unfold with malicious intent, and these two shady characters smirk, clearly responsible for the strange affliction hitting the elf, as they discuss the effectiveness of the herb they used to target their unsuspecting victim. These two creeps are clearly planning to kidnap Leash for a quick profit. While the poor elf struggles to stay conscious as the toxins take hold, and the villain grins, thinking he has the upper hand in this situation. With Leash barely able to keep her eyes open as her strength fades away, her breathing becomes shallow while she remains trapped in the dark, quiet alleyway. As the shady guys close in, completely unaware of the danger they are in, they reach out to grab her, thinking she is an easy target to snatch. But one of them makes the mistake of getting way too close to her. Suddenly, a heavy boot slams into the scene, stopping their plans in their tracks because Takuma has arrived just in time to protect their new friend from harm. Takuma rushes over to check on Leash, who is clearly struggling to stay upright, and he asks if she can stand while she fights off the mysterious toxin, but the two thugs interrupt them, clearly ready to cause some serious trouble tonight. One of them pulls a blade and threatens our guy to back off immediately, leaving Takuma desperate to find a way to protect the weakened elf from them, while he suddenly recalls a strange, unique ability he was supposedly gifted earlier today. And he starts muttering to himself, causing the thugs to mock his confused behavior as he frantically searches his pockets for something that might actually help them escape. Until he pulls out the magical wind-generating tool they bought at the shop earlier, hoping this simple item will be enough to distract the attackers and save them. Takuma activates the wind tool, sending the two thugs flying backward with surprising force, and they tumble through the air, completely caught off guard by the sudden magical blast, leaving our guy sitting on the ground, stunned that his plan actually worked out. While he stares at the little bird toy in his hand, wondering about its power, then he quickly shifts his focus back to Leash, who is still struggling to recover. So he rushes over to check on her, offering a hand to help her up, and she reaches out to grab his hand, feeling a bit dazed from the encounter as she looks up at him with a flushed face, clearly overwhelmed by the situation, while she lets out a soft sigh, finally starting to feel a bit more stable. So Takuma asks if she is feeling any pain, relieved to see her finally recovering. Leash finally shakes off the effects of the toxin, feeling much better than before, while Mao runs back to them, complaining about being left alone for a moment, but Takuma suddenly feels a wave of dizziness wash over him, catching him off guard. As he collapses to the ground, leaving the girls shocked and calling out his name, while the city lights twinkle in the distance as night falls over the quiet. And a glowing lantern hangs nearby, casting a soft light over the sleeping hero. His hand twitches slightly as he begins to stir from his deep, unexpected slumber while he wakes up in a strange bed, wondering exactly where he has ended up. Then he bolts upright in a panic, immediately asking about the safety of his companions. So Mal peeks through the curtains, relieved to see that he is finally awake again. Takuma is just relieved to see that Leash is safe and sound. But he realizes he has stumbled into a very awkward situation indeed, as the poor elf turns bright red, clearly mortified by the sudden intrusion. While Takuma winces in pain, clutching his head as the aftereffects hit him, so Leash quickly checks on him, worried about his sudden and strange condition, and she moves closer to help him, trying to keep her composure intact, as they find themselves in a surprisingly intimate moment amidst the confusion. While she apologizes profusely for all the trouble she has caused him today, and she thanks him for his bravery in the alleyway earlier that evening, so Mao happily reveals that she helped bring him here to recover safely. Leash suggests they postpone the mana lesson until tomorrow since it is getting late, and she happily agrees to answer any other questions he might have later on, while Mao eagerly raises her hand, wanting to help Takuma find his destined partner. Though Takuma remains focused on the practical side of surviving in this new city, because he knows that securing a steady income is the absolute top priority right now. So they decide to visit the guild tomorrow to get all the necessary details, as Takuma reflects on how incredibly kind and helpful their new elven friend is, while Leash expresses her own desire to pay forward the kindness she has received. And they finally say their goodnights, parting ways to get some much-needed rest tonight, as the quiet town settles under the stars, marking the end of a long day. Takuma lies awake in bed, reflecting on how quickly his life has changed lately, and he wonders what would have happened if he had never met his companions, while a sudden, intense memory of the dangerous alleyway encounter flashes through his mind, as he turns to see Mao sleeping peacefully right beside him in the bed. And she mumbles in her sleep, asking if she can stay close to him, so he watches her with a gentle smile, feeling like a protective older brother while she drifts off with a happy expression, clearly content after their long day. Then she softly calls out his name, pulling him back into the quiet moment as the moon hangs high over the town, signaling that the night is deep, and they prepare to face the guild and their future challenges first thing tomorrow. Leash suggests that joining the local adventurers guild is the fastest way to earn money, and Takuma is immediately hyped to finally become a real-life adventurer in this new world, though he worries about his combat skills. Leash confidently offers to handle the tough monsters, so they start filling out the official registration forms to get their new careers started. Takuma is genuinely shocked by how easy it is to sign up for such a role. While the guild clerk confirms that anyone can join if they meet the basic requirements, Mao excitedly shouts that they are ready to take on monsters and earn some cash. But the clerk quickly shuts that down, explaining they cannot take those quests just yet since they need to understand how the ranking system works before jumping into the fray, and the clerk gives Takuma a friendly pat on the head for actually paying attention. This clerk explains that adventurers must climb the ranks to access more dangerous, lucrative quests, while Takuma learns that he needs to pass a specific test to reach D-rank status, and the elf assures him that hitting that first milestone is actually pretty straightforward, as she suggests that simply defeating a few local monsters outside the city will suffice. Suddenly, a cheerful young adventurer pops up to ask if our guy is a beginner. And he introduces himself with a friendly grin, clearly eager to make a new connection, while Leash confirms that this newcomer is a capable fighter who can offer some support. As the energetic guy waves goodbye, leaving our trio to discuss their next big move while Takuma contemplates the grind ahead, feeling a mix of nerves and genuine excitement now, and he realizes that moving up to D rank is the key to earning real money. Takuma is fired up to crush some monsters and finally pass his big promotion test, so Leash heads off to grab the necessary paperwork while Mao cheers them on excitedly scanning the quest board. Our guy notices a survey mission with surprisingly high payout rates, but he wonders why the nearby forest is suddenly being labeled as a dangerous zone, questioning the strange timing. He tries to figure out why this area appeared so abruptly, when a friendly armored adventurer approaches the group to offer his assistance for the trip, and Leash politely bows to acknowledge his offer while keeping her focus on the task, explaining to Takuma that she turned him down since they prefer to travel together alone. Though Mao is clearly jealous of the attention, the group decides to stick to themselves, as Leash reminds everyone that they still need to prep their gear and study mana. Leash kindly offers them some extra gear from the warehouse to help them get started, and they step inside to find a treasure trove of useful items for their journey, while the elf gets super excited about picking out the perfect loadout for everyone. So Takuma tries on his new adventure outfit, feeling like he really belongs now, and Leash explains how his lightweight gear provides both protection and a nice speed boost, as they turn their attention to finding something suitable for little Mao to wear, but the only armor they find is way too bulky for her to move around, leaving the group to search for better accessories that might actually fit her frame, while Takuma asks if they can use some spare materials to craft something custom, so Leash asks for a moment to figure out a better plan for them. Leash looks absolutely adorable in her new outfit, completely winning over our guy, and she spins around happily while Takuma compliments her look with a big grin, but he accidentally lets slip that he has some crafting skills, shocking the girls, as they head out to the fields to start their first official monster hunt, where they spot a rabbit-like creature that looks way too cute to be dangerous. Yet Leash warns them that these little guys can actually cause some serious trouble, so she explains the mission is just to defeat them and collect their stones. And Takuma charges ahead with Mao trailing behind, ready to prove his worth today, while he gets chased around by the tiny monster, struggling to land a hit, so the girls watch on, feeling a bit worried about his lack of experience. Takuma suggests using long-range magic to handle the monsters from a safer distance, and he wonders if he is actually capable of pulling off such a feat, so Leash begins to explain the fundamental concept of mana to our guy, describing how it flows from special trees and permeates the entire atmosphere invisibly, while Takuma tries to visualize this energy as something similar to the air. And she notes that mana exists in everything from nature to living creatures, as our hero focuses intently on the idea of channeling this mysterious power, while he realizes that mana is essentially the source of all magical effects, and she gives examples of how it powers everyday things like warm water. So Mao eagerly asks how they can start using magic for their own purposes. Leash demonstrates how to channel internal energy, guiding Takuma through the basics of mana control, and she successfully releases a focused blast of wind magic toward their target, while explaining that elemental affinities play a huge role in how effectively magic manifests. So Mao tries it out herself, beaming with pride as a small light appears. And Takuma wonders if she can handle fire magic just as easily as the others, while Mao pauses to think, her eyes widening as she prepares to give it a go, as the atmosphere suddenly shifts, leaving our guy sweating at the unexpected intensity, and she conjures a massive fireball that dwarfs her tiny frame, shocking everyone nearby. So Leash is stunned by her raw potential, while Takuma breathes a sigh of relief, and he starts to wonder if he might actually have some hidden magical talent too. Takuma takes a deep breath and tries to focus his internal energy for magic, but he struggles to feel anything as he sits there in the open field while the girls watch him intently, waiting for some sign of a breakthrough. And Leash notes that his mana levels might just be naturally lower than others, so she kindly offers to hold his hand to help guide his flow directly as they stand close together, creating an unexpectedly sweet and slightly tense moment, while he waits for a spark that just refuses to show up for him, and he starts to worry that he might not have any magical talent at all, so he slumps over in defeat while the girls try their best to comfort him as he stares blankly, wondering if his journey as an adventurer is already hitting walls. Suddenly, a plume of smoke rising in the distance catches Takuma's attention, and the trio immediately rushes toward the source to investigate the disturbance. While they realize this is way more intense than a simple scouting mission, as a massive high-level monster appears and completely blindsides the group, so the beast launches a ferocious attack that forces everyone to scramble, and our guy barely manages to dodge the incoming strike in a panic, while the creature locks its gaze onto them with a terrifying, predatory intensity, as Leash steps up to the front line, wielding her weapon with grace. And she unleashes a powerful counterattack to protect her friends from the monster, so she checks on Takuma, ensuring he is safe after that dangerous encounter. Takuma marvels at how Leash handles her gear, wondering where she got such impressive equipment, but the mood shifts instantly when they realize someone nearby is in desperate need of aid as they learn that a group of scouts was ambushed by a vicious forest beast. And our guy is completely caught off guard by the sudden escalation of the danger while he shouts a warning to Leash, who stands her ground against the charging creature. As she nimbly dodges the strike and prepares to counter the monster's aggressive, wild movements, then they check on each other, relieved that everyone managed to avoid the initial impact, so they decide to team up and take down the threat before it hurts anyone else. While Takuma steals his resolve, determined to contribute despite his lack of formal combat training, as Leash lunges forward to engage the beast, putting her skills to the ultimate test. Mao dives into the fray, showing off some serious agility to avoid the beast's reach, and she realizes her attacks are not landing, so she keeps her distance from the monster while Leash calls for a tactical retreat to regroup and rethink their current strategy. As Takuma screams out in alarm, terrified that his companion is about to get hurt since the creature lands a heavy blow, forcing Leash to take the full impact, and she gasps in pain, struggling to maintain her composure under the sudden pressure while Mao steps up, channeling her mana into a glowing sphere of pure energy, as she shouts for the beast to back off, unleashing a massive magical blast which catches the monster off guard, creating a huge gap between them and the threat. And the powerful strike hits home, finally pushing the dangerous creature back into the woods. Leash is completely shocked that her magic actually reflected the beast's powerful attack, while the monster is sent reeling back by the sheer force of the counter as Takuma quickly grabs Leash to pull her away from the immediate danger zone, and he stares in disbelief, realizing just how close they came to a disaster. While they confirm they have reached a safe enough distance to catch their breath, so Takuma insists they head back to get help before the creature recovers fully. But Leash pauses, looking down at her side where she took a heavy hit, and she surprises everyone by claiming she feels absolutely no pain from the impact. As Mao suddenly dashes back toward the danger, ignoring all of their frantic calls while Takuma screams out in pure panic, terrified that his friends are rushing death. Mao stands her ground against the towering beast, desperately trying to keep it at bay, while the monster looms over her, ready to strike with its massive, jagged stone claws. Seeing her collapse from the sheer intensity of the encounter, Takuma rushes to her side. Screaming her name in a frantic dash, he ignores the danger to reach his friend, and he scoops her up, telling her not to push herself while she is hurt. Pulling out a recovery potion, he gently helps her drink to restore her fading strength, as he realizes he needs more power to protect the people who mean everything, while Mao feels a warm, comforting sensation spreading through her as the medicine takes effect. Noticing the gentle care from Takuma, she finds herself feeling safe despite the ongoing threat, but a sudden, piercing scream echoes through the forest, snapping our hero back to reality. Takuma desperately calls out to Leash, hoping to snap her back to her senses, while he scrambles away from the immediate danger zone to find a better position as the fallen elf struggles to regain her footing while the beast looms nearby. And he shouts to draw the monster's attention, acting as a distraction for his friends since he realizes he has to keep the creature occupied to save the others, while the massive predator locks its gaze onto him with a terrifying, hungry intensity. As he keeps taunting the beast, trying to lure it away from the injured party, and the monster charges forward with heavy, thundering steps that shake the entire forest floor, while our guy admits he is absolutely terrified, yet refuses to abandon his companions now. And he notices with a jolt that the creature is surprisingly slow on its feet. Takuma realizes that weaving through the dense trees might be his only chance to escape. While the monster begins to channel a terrifying surge of energy right in front of him, and he freezes in absolute shock, realizing he is completely out of his depth here, as the beast unleashes a massive blast, forcing him to duck and cover for his life while he reminds himself that even professional adventurers struggle against such a high-level threat, so he desperately decides to lure the creature deeper into the heart of the forest. As his heart pounds in his chest, feeling the overwhelming pressure of the situation mounting, and he suddenly trips, stumbling hard onto the ground while trying to maintain his pace while he feels his strength draining away, leaving him vulnerable and terrified in the open as the towering predator looms over him, ready to finish this one-sided confrontation for good. Takuma lies on the ground, his vision fading as he accepts his grim fate, while the beast prepares to strike, leaving our hero feeling completely helpless and defeated as he closes his eyes, hoping only that his friends manage to escape the danger. Suddenly, a powerful presence appears, shielding him from the monster's lethal incoming attack, and a mysterious, ethereal woman stands before him, her eyes glowing with immense power while she effortlessly disrupts the creature's energy, causing its magical blast to simply vanish. as she reaches out a hand, apologizing for the trouble while Takuma watches in awe, and she begins to weave a complex spell, pulling energy directly from the surrounding air while a shard of pure concentrated mana forms in her palm, swirling with intense light as she prepares to unleash a countermeasure that will surely turn the tide of battle. Our guy finds himself cradled by the mysterious woman after the intense magical clash, and he stares up at her in a daze, completely stunned by her sudden appearance while she offers a gentle, relieved smile, clearly happy that he is safe and sound. But her form begins to shimmer and fade, signaling that her time here is up, so she pouts in disappointment, clearly wishing she could have stayed to chat longer, and she leans in for a final, fleeting moment before vanishing into thin air, leaving Takuma bewildered as he tries to process the strange encounter in the woods. While his companions catch up, noticing that the monster's energy has completely disappeared, and they call out to check if everyone is okay after the chaotic skirmish, so they stand there in confusion, wondering how the threat just suddenly ceased to exist. Leash stares in absolute shock, still trying to process the mysterious savior who just vanished, while Takuma and Mao recover from the ordeal, safe but clearly shaken by the encounter. And the next day rolls around, bringing a much-needed sense of calm to the group, as they head to the guild tavern to grab a drink and decompress together, where Leash cheerfully congratulates Takuma on officially passing his rank promotion exam despite everything, but the mood turns somber as they reflect on the terrifying monster they faced, while Mao admits she feels useless for failing to stop the beast in time. And Leash agrees that they were completely outmatched by such a high-level threat as Takuma tries to keep spirits high by reminding them that they still saved lives, though he privately worries that he needs to get much stronger to truly survive. Takuma realizes he needs to get much stronger to handle the dangers of this world, and Mao enthusiastically agrees, declaring she wants to level up her own skills as well. While they discuss their future plans, including earning money and finding Takuma's fated partner, as Leash suddenly interrupts to ask if that fated person is someone he wants to meet, so Mao eagerly explains that a deity told them this was their grand destiny, and a flustered Takuma tries to clarify that his memory of the divine message is fuzzy, while Leash takes the news in stride, suggesting that following such a prophecy is important. As our guy wonders if these kinds of divine missions are just common occurrences here, while he contemplates the possibility that his fated partner might actually be looking for him, and Leash playfully teases him about the divine decree while he remains completely skeptical. Mao keeps pushing the idea that a kiss is the ultimate test for finding destiny, and she gets way too excited about the romantic implications of such a bold claim. While our guy just sweats nervously, clearly wishing she would drop the whole awkward topic, as Leash blushes deeply, seemingly caught off guard by the sudden mention of such intimacy. Then Mao drops a bombshell question about why they have not shared a kiss yet either, which leaves the poor elf completely stunned and unable to find the right words, so Takuma tries to intervene, pointing out that she is clearly uncomfortable with this talk. But the conversation only spirals further into embarrassment for everyone sitting at the table while he apologizes for the weird vibe, admitting that he is just as flustered now, and Leash gives a shy, knowing smile, seemingly amused by his frantic attempt to explain. Takuma finally relaxes, telling the girls they can just call him by his first name, and Leash perks up, admitting that she is actually searching for someone special too. While she reveals with a serious expression that she is on a quest for a savior, as Takuma looks on, clearly confused about why an elf would be hunting for a hero, since she explains that her kingdom sent her to find a savior from another world. And our guy starts sweating, realizing her mission sounds suspiciously similar to his own situation, while he wonders if the world is currently facing a crisis that requires such intervention. As Leash confirms the worst, explaining that their entire world is being threatened by darkness, and Takuma is left reeling, struggling to process the heavy news about a demon king, while he quietly doubts he is the legendary hero the gods actually had in mind. Despite the peaceful tavern vibes, the looming threat of the demon king feels increasingly real, while Mao passionately declares that fighting is never the answer to their current world problems. So Takuma asks what kind of person this legendary savior is actually supposed to be, and Leash explains the prophecy describes a brave, talented youth destined to perform great deeds, while our guy worries about her traveling alone, suggesting she needs someone to watch her back, as she admits that solo travel has been tough and she could use some backup, so she excitedly proposes that they all team up and head out on this journey together. While she insists that she is strong enough to handle herself and help them grow stronger, and Takuma hesitates, pointing out that a quest of this magnitude really requires a seasoned professional, but he is left stunned when they double down on their desire to join his party. Leash beams with excitement, clearly thrilled at the prospect of joining their little adventuring party, while Takuma and Mao exchange a look, feeling a bit overwhelmed by her sudden enthusiasm. As they discuss heading toward the capital, hoping it will be easier to find leads, but a stranger suddenly leans in, asking if they are indeed planning to travel there, and a cheerful girl with goggles pops up, asking if she can tag along too, while she repeats her request to join them on their journey toward the capital city as Takuma looks up, completely caught off guard by this unexpected new face in town. And she introduces herself as Noelle, the dwarf he helped out during a previous mission, while she thanks him profusely for the recovery potion that saved her life back then, as our guy smiles, relieved to see she is doing well after their dangerous encounter. Noelle keeps gushing over how Takuma's recovery potions are basically a miracle cure, while he tries to downplay his lack of magical talent as just a simple quirk. but she insists that his unique ability to enhance items is actually a rare gift. As she proudly reveals her own background as a skilled crafter of specialized magical tools, and the group listens in amazement while she explains her talent for imbuing equipment, so she decides to show off her latest invention to prove her professional worth, pulling out a mysterious orb that can visualize hidden mana auras with perfect clarity. While she winks and uses the device to inspect Takuma's own internal energy levels, as the others watch with bated breath to see what the tool will reveal, and Noelle looks absolutely thrilled by the unexpected results she finds on the display. Noelle stares at the reading with a look of pure, unadulterated confusion on her face, while she rests her chin on her hand, trying to make sense of the data, and she starts venting about how his mana levels are essentially non-existent, which is wild. As she questions why anyone would travel with such a mysterious and seemingly average guy while the girls jump to his defense, praising his hidden bravery and kind heart. But then the conversation takes a turn for the awkward with some very personal questions, and Takuma immediately starts sweating, trying to shut down the embarrassing line of inquiry while Noelle shrugs it off, acknowledging that at least he saved her life before. As she decides that traveling with this chaotic group actually sounds like a fun time, though she remains completely baffled by the fact that he has absolutely zero mana. Arriving at the Grand Capital gates, the group finally feels like their journey is starting, while Leash leads the way with a bright smile, pointing out the path ahead as Mal playfully hops onto our guy's back, turning the travel into a piggyback ride. Suddenly, a tiny, harmless creature pops up, prompting the girls to call it a pest, and Takuma hilariously overreacts to the small critter, jumping away in a total panic while he scrambles to get away, leaving the girls completely baffled by his reaction. As they watch him struggle, Leash and the others cannot help but find it cute, though Noelle bluntly questions if a guy with zero mana has any future at all. So they keep walking through the quiet outskirts, chatting as they head toward the city, until our guy finally spots the destination they have been chasing for so long. Two energetic kids sprint ahead, excitedly dragging our guy toward their home for a quest, and he tries to keep up while they enthusiastically introduce him to a local sister who greets the group with genuine curiosity, wondering why they brought a stranger along. As the kids apologize for the confusion, explaining they just needed some professional help, and the party settles in to discuss the urgent request that brought them here, while one kid hilariously roasts our guy for looking like a weakling despite his rank. As he takes in the surroundings, realizing the place is essentially a crowded orphanage, and the sister listens intently, wondering what kind of trouble they have gotten into. While Mao gets way too excited, loudly declaring that she has found his fated partner, leaving him to focus on the real issue of a monster lurking in the cave. This sister explains that the guild ignored the request because the reward is way too low, and Noelle notes that nobody wants to waste their time on such a thankless, cheap job, while the sister mentions that she was actually injured recently, adding to the local struggle. As our guy wonders if a simple recovery potion could have fixed her up right away, but he learns that such items are actually luxury goods far too expensive for common folks, so Mao jumps in with pure excitement, declaring that they will handle the monster themselves, and the group agrees that they cannot just leave the orphanage in such a dangerous spot, while Noelle playfully objects, clearly teasing them for being way too soft-hearted for this world. As our guy admits he wants to help but worries about the reality of being adventurers, yet they all decide to push forward and support the sister and the kids regardless. Everyone cheers as our guy agrees to help the orphanage with their monster problem, while they trek out toward the rugged terrain where the cave is located, standing before the entrance of a rank D dungeon that has everyone feeling cautious, as Noelle analyzes the mana buildup and warns that the cave is turning dangerous, because monsters nesting inside are causing the energy to condense into a full dungeon. So the group decides that clearing out the creatures is the only viable solution, while Noelle gets excited about the potential for finding rare magic stones inside there. As our guy nervously asks about the risks of traps and hidden threats lurking, then he suddenly trips over his own feet in a moment of pure panic, only to come face to face with a pair of harmless-looking slimes waiting ahead. Leash starts cuddling the slime like it is a plush toy, completely ignoring the danger, but the poor creature suddenly lets out a weird sound, leaving her totally shocked while she insists it is not cute at all, despite her earlier excitement about it, as Noelle jumps into the fray, eager to collect materials from the squishy little monsters while she cheers on Takuma, who is getting ready to show off his own skills. And our guy lunges forward with surprising speed, catching everyone off guard with his movement as he narrowly dodges a flying slime that comes soaring right toward his face while he pulls out his blade, realizing he needs to stay sharp to survive this as he freezes in place, suddenly feeling a firm grip on his shoulder from behind, and he turns to find Noelle staring him down with a look of intense focus. Takuma nervously asks if he did something wrong, hoping to avoid any unnecessary conflict, but Noelle immediately complains that his current weapon choice is totally unsuited for him, so she insists he swap it for something else that fits his style much better, and he examines the new, sturdier tool she hands over with a bit of hesitation while a slime bounces into view, giving him the perfect target to test his gear, as he swings the weapon with a baseball-like motion, trying to find his rhythm. and he lands a solid hit on the creature, surprised by how effective it feels while he keeps his guard up, ready to strike again if the monster recovers quickly as Noelle explains that the tool is enchanted to boost his damage despite his stats, and he realizes she has totally seen through his lack of experience with real combat. Noelle tells him not to worry about the gear since she can gather materials herself, while Takuma rushes ahead to deal with the slimes, keeping the group moving forward. As our guy decides to head deeper into the cave while Noelle plots something sneaky, and the girls exchange a tense look, sensing that something is definitely up with her, while she awkwardly denies trying to snag any rare loot for her own personal gain as Leash marvels at how Takuma's weapon choice perfectly counters the monsters they are facing, while he tries to play down his skills, claiming it is just a simple enchantment. And Leash looks totally starstruck by his humble attitude and his supposed hidden talent, while Noelle blushes, clearly embarrassed by all the praise being heaped onto our guy as she shifts the conversation to the slimes, asking about their potential alchemical uses. Leash announces they have cleared the initial wave and should push deeper into the cave, while Takuma urges Noelle to keep moving forward despite the growing tension in the air. As the group ventures into the dark, cavernous depths where the path narrows significantly, suddenly, Takuma spots something dangerous lurking above and shouts a warning to the girls, but before they can react, a massive sticky trap drops down from the ceiling, and both Leash and Noelle find themselves completely ensnared by the giant, gooey creature while Noelle panics, realizing this is a high-rank slime that is definitely not friendly. As Takuma rushes over, horrified to see his companions struggling against the viscous mass while the girls scream in frustration, begging him to get them out of this mess, and he desperately grabs onto them, trying to pull them free from the sticky trap. Takuma frantically tries to pull the girls free, but they are completely stuck fast while the slime continues to hold them in its grip, causing a total chaotic scene. As he desperately yanks at the mass, hoping to break the creature's hold on them, until the slime finally releases its grasp, leaving everyone feeling rather shaken and relieved while he checks on Leash, worried about her condition after such a bizarre encounter as she looks completely mortified by the sticky mess, clearly feeling quite overwhelmed herself while she apologizes for being so flustered, admitting the sensation was just too much. As she suddenly points out something else moving in the darkness of the cave, and the group watches as more of those squishy little creatures start to appear, leaving them to wonder if this dungeon is going to be a bigger problem. Another little slime pops up, looking deceptively innocent while the group stares it down, and Leash complains about how persistent these things are, clearly annoyed by the constant respawning. While they wonder if these smaller ones are actually merging to form that massive slime, so our guy suggests they just need to find and take out the leader directly, but Noelle is totally lost, unable to tell which one is the main threat here, as she decides to use a flashy spell to blast them away, despite his protests while she pulls out a special lens to scan the area for the hidden boss, and she tries to identify the leader by its unique color compared to the others. While the magical energy flares up, making it even harder to see through the haze, until she admits she still has no clue what she is looking at, totally failing. Takuma realizes the overlapping slime auras are creating a massive, confusing mess of magical energy, while he tries to peer through his specialized lens to find the source of the problem, suddenly spotting a distinct anomaly that catches his eye amidst the chaotic, glowing swarm. So he lunges forward with lightning speed to strike the hidden target before it reacts, but his sudden movement causes him to accidentally collide with Leash in a very awkward way, leaving her completely flustered and blushing as she tries to process the unexpected physical contact while Takuma panics and immediately starts apologizing for the clumsy mistake he just made, as he holds the small, defeated core that was causing all the trouble in the cave. While the rest of the slimes lose their cohesion and scatter away from the group, and the girls finally catch their breath, feeling relieved that the dungeon threat is over, Leash cheers Takuma on to finish off the remaining slimes while they regroup, and he hands the magical lens back to Noelle, praising her for the assist while she stares through the glass, completely baffled by what she is seeing now, as the remaining slimes start to glow with a strange, intense mana signature. And Noelle's eyes widen in total shock as she realizes the true nature of them while she notes how the lens makes the mana flow look incredibly clear. So Takuma asks to borrow the tool to see what has her so spooked, as he steps forward to investigate the source of the weird energy fluctuations while the scene shifts back to the quiet orphanage, now safe from the threat, and he finally secures the core, satisfied that the job is officially done. Leash prepares a report for the guild to confirm the dungeon is finally clear, while she sends off a cute messenger bird to deliver the good news for them as Takuma watches the bird fly away, feeling relieved that the orphanage is safe, until the sister notices that our guy is looking a bit pale and tired, so she asks if he is doing alright after all that intense dungeon crawling, and she kindly offers them a place to stay for the night as thanks. While the girls get super excited about the prospect of a cozy sleepover tonight as Noelle agrees that resting up is smart since they have a long journey, so they happily accept the invitation to stay at the orphanage for the evening while Noelle looks on, already thinking about what their next big move might be. This orphanage kids are super happy to have our guy around to help out, while he notices Noelle is busy sewing, clearly trying to fix up some clothes. and she gets totally flustered when he comments on her work, acting all defensive, so he quickly changes the subject to get her focus back on the task, asking her to come over and help him with something important in the room as he points out some gear on the table, wondering if he should grab it while he picks up a small bottle, testing it out to see how it feels, and Noelle watches him closely with her magnifying glass, checking for any magical reactions. While the conversation shifts toward the sister and her mysterious personal life at home, and the girls start teasing our guy about the sister having a secret crush. These girls are finally relaxing in a hot bath, clearly enjoying the much-needed downtime, while Takuma chats with them from the other side, feeling a bit awkward but content as the conversation turns to his character, with the girls playfully teasing his gentle nature. While Leash defends him, insisting he is far too kind to ever have ulterior motives, and she admits that his easygoing personality makes him a perfect candidate for a husband, leaving our guy completely stunned as he overhears their candid discussion about his future prospects while he tries to process the sudden shift in their conversation, looking totally caught off guard, as one of the girls calls out to him, wondering if he is still listening. While she peeks out from the steam, explaining her true goals for their ongoing journey, and she swoons at the thought of his potential, clearly impressed by his hidden depths. These girls are clearly flustered as they continue their candid talk about our guy, while one of them steps closer to Takuma, making the situation even more intense, and she stares right at him with a look that is hard to misinterpret, leaving him totally confused as he tries to figure out what she actually wants. So she points out that his unique skills might actually make him a powerful enchanter, and he looks completely baffled by the suggestion, having never considered that title before, while she explains that his ability to boost gear and stats is a rare talent. As the girls continue to debate his hidden potential while he tries to stay calm, but he starts to panic, feeling like they are totally overestimating his actual combat power. And he insists he lacks the mana to be a real mage, despite their claims. Our guy keeps insisting he lacks the natural mana to pull off any real magic, while he wonders if using a magic stone could actually let him cast spells anyway, and the girls point out that while it is inefficient, it is technically a possibility, as he realizes he would need a massive pile of slime cores for a tiny effect, while they ponder if his memory loss is the reason he cannot generate mana naturally. So they decide to test a theory by marking his hand with a special symbol which glows with a mysterious, magical energy that catches everyone completely by surprise, and he stares at the mark, jokingly asking if it is just a cheap sticker while the girls watch him closely, wondering if this is the key to his power as they explain that the mark reacts to mana, revealing his hidden potential at last. Seeing the magic mark, the girl excitedly asks to have one placed on her too. And as it glows brightly on her hand, she marvels at the beautiful sparkling effect, while our guy realizes the glowing mark confirms his unique ability is finally manifesting itself. So she playfully insists that he should get one too, making the whole situation adorable. Meanwhile, they decide to keep a close eye on his power to see how it develops, as she brings up their earlier conversation about him being a potential partner for the future, which leaves him feeling completely caught off guard by her bold and direct romantic suggestion, while they recall the rumor that his special ability triggers when he kisses his destined soulmate, and she leans in closer, deciding to put that wild theory to the ultimate test as they share an unexpected moment that leaves him stunned and speechless in the silence. These girls are completely flustered after that intense moment, struggling to process what just happened. While Takuma stands there in total shock, his mind racing as he tries to regain composure as they start questioning if that kiss actually triggered any real change in his magical abilities. While one of them teases him about his reaction, acting like he should be much happier, suddenly a bright, mysterious light engulfs the room, catching everyone completely off guard in the bath as they scramble to figure out what is happening while a strange presence starts to manifest. While a divine, ethereal figure descends into the room, leaving the group absolutely stunned and speechless as the newcomer approaches Takuma, looking down at him with an air of mysterious, godly authority while the girls watch in pure terror, realizing they are in the presence of a deity, and the divine being drops a bombshell about Noelle being his destined partner in this world. This divine entity is clearly thrilled with the situation, giving our guy a huge thumbs up, while she tells them to cherish their bond, leaving him completely baffled by her chaotic energy as she starts praying for better loot drops, while the others just watch in total disbelief. And our guy is honestly struggling to keep up with all the nonsense being thrown his way, while she explains that she added a special blessing to help him find his destined partner because she thinks it is hilarious to trigger these accidental romantic encounters for his own good. As she leans in close to tease him about the recent events in the bathhouse, while she waves goodbye and tells him to keep the progress going, ignoring his angry protests as she looks down at him with a mischievous glint in her eyes before vanishing away, leaving the group behind to process the absolute absurdity of everything that just went down. That mysterious visitor finally fades away, leaving behind a lingering sense of divine confusion, while the younger girl looks around, completely bewildered by the sudden, strange encounter they shared as the magical energy dissipates into the night air, returning the room to its quiet state. And our guy sighs in frustration, wondering why he always gets dragged into such nonsense, while he suddenly realizes that Leash has gone completely silent after everything that just happened. As she stands there blushing intensely, still reeling from the unexpected and overwhelming romantic development, while he tries to keep his cool, realizing the situation has officially reached a breaking point. As the next morning arrives at the orphanage with the kids playing happily outside again while he waves goodbye to the little ones, feeling ready to continue their grand adventure, and he looks toward the horizon, wondering what other surprises this world has in store. Noelle is still feeling totally embarrassed after that wild divine encounter, while the group discusses how they left most of their hard-earned loot at the orphanage, and she gets flustered again when the others tease her about being too generous, as they point out that her protective barrier was actually a massive help for the kids, while Takuma insists that leaving the place safe was the only right thing to do, and he reaches out to pat her head, causing her to turn bright red instantly. While the others watch the sweet moment, clearly amused by their growing closeness, until a sudden shout breaks the mood as someone spots them from afar, and a group of armored knights charges toward them, demanding they stop immediately, so our guy wonders in total confusion why the royal guard is targeting them. Armored guards suddenly surround our group, demanding they surrender without putting up any resistance. While the team stands there in total shock, completely confused by these aggressive accusations as a heavy carriage wheel rumbles past, signaling their swift and forced departure from the area, while the heavy boots of the guards march them away toward an uncertain and grim destination as they are unceremoniously shoved behind cold iron bars, trapped in a dark, cramped cell while our guy panics, questioning why they were arrested despite doing nothing but good deeds. As a mocking voice echoes through the hall accusing them of being common criminals, while an arrogant noble stands before the bars, gloating about their supposed kidnapping crimes as a mysterious, beautiful woman watches from the shadows, seemingly trapped in this same predicament while the heavy silence of the dungeon settles in, leaving them to wonder what comes next. That arrogant guard starts trash-talking our group, accusing them of being low-life kidnappers, while he summons a ball of fire, threatening them with serious consequences for their actions, and our guy is totally caught off guard, especially when the guard mentions a sister. While he quickly realizes that Leash is nowhere to be found in the cell, so he asks if the guard is actually talking about her, feeling completely confused as he tries to explain that she is just a travel companion, not a victim. While he stares at the guard, hoping to clear up this massive misunderstanding immediately, but the guard just gets even angrier, snapping at him for being so casual with her name, while our guy desperately tries to calm the situation down before things get truly heated, and he shouts that they have not even been proven guilty of any crimes yet. Our guy is clearly dealing with a total hothead who thinks he is a criminal, while he desperately tries to explain that he is just a normal traveler, not a kidnapper, as the guard gets even more aggressive, accusing him of doing inappropriate things to his sister. While the girl in question looks on with total confusion, wondering what the guy means, and the guard keeps shouting, completely convinced that our boy is some kind of villain as the others try to de-escalate the situation, pointing out that he is being unreasonable. While the girl innocently mentions her own interactions, making the guard even more worked up as our guy tries to stay calm and explain that he is not actually angry, while the guard keeps pressing him about his past actions, clearly looking for a fight, and the whole group just stands there, baffled by the guard's intense and misplaced hostility. This aggressive guard prepares to unleash his power, fully convinced he is dealing with villains, while our guy is left completely bewildered by the intense and misplaced hostility being shown, as a sudden calm voice echoes through the dungeon corridor, cutting through the heavy tension, and Leash finally appears, looking perfectly fine and wondering what all the commotion is about, while the guard is stunned to see her, still stubbornly refusing to listen to reason as she tries to explain the situation, pointing out that they are just innocent travelers. While she apologizes for the trouble and reveals she has secured permission for their release as the heavy dungeon doors finally swing open, letting them step back into the light, while they are escorted through the grand palace halls toward an audience with the king, and our guy realizes the entire ordeal was just a massive, ridiculous misunderstanding all along. This captain of the royal guard introduces himself, clearly still holding a grudge against our guy. While he complains about the group's antics, though he admits he has a soft spot for Leash, and Noelle tries to lighten the mood by introducing herself as a crafter and mana specialist. But the captain remains unimpressed, still acting cold and distant toward Takuma despite the group's efforts, as Leash happily explains that they are just her bodyguards who traveled all the way here, while the captain shoots a suspicious glare at Takuma, clearly not trusting his intentions one bit. And one of the other guards apologizes for his boss's behavior, noting he is usually reasonable, while Takuma sighs, realizing the captain is just an overprotective brother who is acting totally irrational as the group is finally led into a grand chamber to meet with the royal leadership, while they marvel at the impressive surroundings, finally putting the dungeon drama behind them for good. Suddenly the floor beneath them shifts and glows, signaling a magical transport into motion. While the group watches in amazement as the ground itself begins to move around them, and they catch a glimpse of the bustling city streets appearing just outside their view. As they arrive at the capital, a peaceful and lush kingdom that seems incredibly inviting, while Takuma takes in the massive scale of the castle town, feeling totally outclassed here, and he hears someone mention the First Night Order, though he is clearly confused. As a group of armored soldiers marches past them, drawing everyone's immediate and undivided attention, while a young knight spots them from the crowd, his expression shifting to pure surprise, and Takuma recognizes him as Reiga, waving awkwardly while the others look on in shock as they realize their peaceful arrival is about to get complicated by this unexpected reunion. Stepping into the grand throne room, our group finally faces the kingdom's supreme ruler. While the king sits regally on his seat, exuding an aura of immense, heavy authority, and Takuma is completely floored by the sheer intensity radiating from the royal presence. As the others kneel respectfully, trying their best to maintain proper decorum in this space while our guy nervously reminds himself to stay polite and avoid making any major mistakes. But then Mao suddenly bursts in with a cheerful greeting, catching everyone totally off. As Takuma frantically tries to apologize for the sudden outburst and the chaotic energy involved, while the king just laughs heartily, clearly finding the whole situation more amusing than offensive, and he acknowledges their help during the journey, offering his sincere gratitude for their service, before mentioning that he views Leash like a daughter, leaving our guy completely stunned again. This king is totally tearing up, clearly just a massive softie when it comes to Leash. While she tries to comfort him, explaining that he has always been a worrywart at heart as she apologizes for causing him any stress during her first big adventure away from home. While the king keeps acting like a doting grandpa, completely ignoring the formalities of the court, and our guy is honestly just standing there, shocked by how close they actually are, while the king reminisces about her calling him silly nicknames when she was just a kid. As the captain finally steps in, trying to steer the conversation back to serious royal business, while the king pivots to questioning Takuma about the true purpose of their ongoing quest, as he admits he was genuinely worried when he heard she had set off on this journey, before dropping a bombshell that someone else has already arrived at the capital ahead of them. This king explains that the hero has already left on a journey to defeat the demon lord. While Leash looks on, clearly impressed by the noble ambition of this mysterious new traveler, as the captain steps up, offering to escort her safely back to her own people. And our guy realizes that this sudden separation is actually happening way sooner than he expected, while he feels a pang of sadness at the thought of parting ways with her so quickly, as the king mentions that recent skirmishes with demon forces have made the region quite dangerous. While the First Night Order has already been deployed to the border villages to investigate matters, and the captain insists that the Second Order should stay behind to guard the royal palace, while he completely loses his cool, shouting that he refuses to leave her with a stranger. But the king calmly stands his ground, trusting our guy with the mission despite the protest. Despite the uncertainty of their origins, the king acknowledges their success in defeating the monsters. While he suggests that Leash should continue her journey to gain more personal experience, and she beams with pure joy, clearly thrilled to be allowed to keep traveling, while the king encourages her to cherish the time spent with her new companions, but the captain suddenly snaps, shouting that the king is being way too soft on them, while he rants about how dangerous it is for her to be wandering with a stranger. And he gets so worked up that he starts hyperventilating, forcing the others to intervene, while his subordinate explains that the captain almost lost his mind when she first left, as the king imagines the heavy balance between his daughter's happiness and his own anxiety, while the captain continues to freak out, leaving the king looking completely exhausted by him. This captain keeps digging into the past, claiming he heard about some inappropriate physical contact. While Leash blushes deeply, trying to explain that it was all just a massive misunderstanding, but the overprotective brother refuses to listen, insisting that the facts remain exactly the same, and he declares that he absolutely cannot entrust his sister to a guy like this, so he challenges Takuma to a duel, demanding the right to join the journey himself, while our guy just stares back in total disbelief, wondering how things escalated this quickly. As another guard steps in to silence the captain, reminding him of the king's royal decree, while the king sighs, admitting that his captain is just way too stubborn to change, and he scolds the man for his outburst, though he clearly understands the underlying concern, before deciding that a duel is actually the perfect way to test Takuma's true strength. This king officially approves the duel, leaving our guy completely shocked by the sudden turn. While the captain insists on a handicap since he is a seasoned knight, not a rookie, and Takuma panics, begging Leash to intervene because he clearly wants no part of this, while she just smiles, showing total confidence in him despite his desperate and nervous protests, as the captain continues to taunt him, questioning if he is really going to back down, while he keeps pushing the pressure, making it clear that there is no easy way out. As the scene shifts to a more formal setting, showing Leash looking absolutely stunning and regal, while our guy stands there in a sharp outfit, looking ready for the upcoming challenge, as they head to the training grounds, where the captain draws his blade for the match while he sets a simple condition for victory, forcing our guy to prepare for the fight. This captain tells Takuma he can use any dirty trick he wants to win this fight. While our guy stands there in total silence, clearly overwhelmed by the sudden and intense pressure, as Leash apologizes for her brother's aggressive behavior, trying to smooth things over with the group. While Noelle points out that Takuma is definitely going to lose, making him even more nervous, as Leash cheers him on with total confidence, insisting that he can definitely pull off a win. While the others join in with their own encouragement, leaving our guy feeling completely caught off guard as they tease him about a potential reward, making everyone blush while he tries to stay focused. While Takuma questions if this is really the right way to decide his future as a companion, as Leash looks at him with a soft, uncertain expression, leaving the question hanging in the air. While he finally grips his training sword, realizing there is no turning back from this duel now. Takuma psychs himself up to give this duel his absolute best effort, while the captain impatiently signals for the match to begin without delay, and our guy barely has a second to react before the action kicks off, as the captain lunges forward with terrifying speed, forcing Takuma onto the defensive immediately while he realizes just how outmatched he is by the knight's incredible combat skills, as the captain keeps the pressure high, testing his opponent with rapid, precise strikes. While a sudden, intense heat radiates from the captain's blade as he channels power, and a massive wave of flames surges forward, forcing Takuma to dodge for survival while the captain stands tall, casually mentioning that he is actually holding back significantly, and our guy can only stare in awe at the sheer power of that flaming sword. This captain starts summoning multiple fire orbs, turning the training ground into a total furnace. While our guy stands there with nothing but a wooden stick, sweating bullets at the intensity as the flames crash down around him, forcing him to scramble just to stay in one piece. While the girls watch from the sidelines, clearly worried about how badly this is going for him as Takuma realizes the captain is holding back just enough to keep him from getting seriously hurt, while the knight questions why his sister would ever choose to travel with someone so weak. And he coldly declares that our guy simply is not cut out to protect someone like her, while the others start to lose hope, wondering if he should just give up right now as Leash looks on with a heavy heart, wishing he would just apologize to end this while the group remains tense, still waiting to see if he can actually pull off a miracle. Reiga jumps into the conversation with a grin, clearly finding the whole duel situation hilarious. While the others chime in with their own commentary, completely ignoring the massive power gap in Takuma's size, realizing that everyone can hear his internal panic loud and clear. As the group continues to offer unhelpful advice, suggesting he just try to hit back, while our guy sits there feeling defeated, already accepting that he is totally outclassed here, but he steels his resolve, refusing to let this be the end of his journey. As Leash steps forward, shyly admitting she still wants to travel with her new friends, while she promises the king that she will never lose sight of her important mission, and she explains that she just wants to cherish the time she has left together before she makes a heartfelt plea to the king, hoping he will grant her wish. Everyone watches in suspense as the group realizes the king is actually listening to her. While Takuma finally understands that the king just wants to support his daughter's heartfelt wishes, and the captain notices a sudden shift in our guy's focus and determined expression, while the knight prepares another fiery strike, reminding him that the duel is not over yet as he charges forward with a powerful blast, forcing our hero to brace for impact, while Takuma realizes the attack is coming and prepares to meet the challenge head-on. And he makes a daring move, diving straight through the flames to close the distance, while the captain looks completely stunned that his opponent would actually charge into the fire as our guy acknowledges that the knight's restraint is the only reason he is surviving, while he pushes forward with everything he has, determined to finally end this intense match. Takuma is caught off guard when a sudden loud explosion rocks the entire castle grounds. And he shares a look of pure confusion with the captain as the chaos erupts while a frantic guard reports that mysterious creatures have breached the outer defensive walls. As the captain immediately shifts into commander mode, barking orders to mobilize the night orders while a monstrous, tentacled beast crashes into the city, causing absolute panic among the citizens, and the captain calls off the duel, telling Takuma they have much bigger problems now. While he firmly instructs the group to stay put and let the professionals handle things, as Takuma worries about the safety of the people living in the crowded city below, while Leash wonders how any creature could possibly bypass the powerful magical barriers protecting them, and she explains that the city's defenses are usually strong enough to keep monsters away. Leash points out that reports of high-level monsters have been popping up way too often. While she scans the city below, trying to spot where the trouble is actually coming from, and she calls out to Takuma, spotting the captain already locked in a heated skirmish, while she directs his attention toward the chaos unfolding right in the middle of town as the knights surround a bizarre, eye-like plant monster that is tearing up the ground, while a subordinate shouts to the captain that they have successfully pinned the creature down. As the captain begins channeling his energy to summon a powerful elemental spirit, while his body glows with intense light as he prepares to unleash a devastating technique, and he fires a massive barrage of flaming arrows, raining destruction down upon the target while the monster is quickly neutralized, leaving the area in ruins as the dust settles. Our guy realizes the captain was holding back his fire magic the entire time. While Leash confirms that her brother never actually intended to cause him any harm, and the knight even hands over some healing supplies to patch him up quickly, while Leash suddenly hears cries for help coming from the direction of the city, and she frantically grabs Takuma, insisting they need to go help the people immediately, while she literally lifts him off his feet in her rush to get moving, and they sprint toward the chaos, leaving the confused captain behind in their wake. While the captain orders Reiga to keep a close eye on the group's safety, as Reiga turns around to find that the duo has already vanished from sight, and he looks around in total bewilderment, wondering where they could have possibly gone. Rushing toward the danger, our duo spots a massive, serpent-like creature cornering a small child, while the monster looms over the terrified kid, ready to strike at any moment. As the little one cries out for help, completely paralyzed by the sheer size of it, while Leash's eyes widen in shock, realizing they have to act right this second as they leap into action, with Takuma scooping up the child just as the beast lunges, while he checks to make sure the kid is safe, ignoring the danger right behind them as their companion catches up, confirming that the threat is way bigger than they expected. while Leash moves with incredible agility, dodging the serpent's massive tail with ease as she prepares to counterattack, showing off some serious moves to keep the monster occupied, while the rest of the team arrives ready to finish this fight and protect the city. Takuma barely manages to deflect the massive strike, his heart pounding in his chest, while the monster keeps up the relentless assault, forcing him to stay on guard. As he desperately blocks another heavy blow, feeling the sheer weight of the creature, while he realizes with shock that his wooden sword is actually holding up against it as the serpent-like beast gathers a crackling orb of energy, preparing a dangerous magical attack, while the glowing sphere pulses with unstable power, threatening to level the entire surrounding area as Takuma stares down the incoming energy, knowing he is the only one standing nearby. While he wonders if his simple training weapon can possibly stop such a devastating blast as he prepares to face the impact, suddenly hearing a voice offer to help him, while his companion steps in to create a magical barrier shielding them from the blast. Our guy praises her quick thinking, clearly impressed by that perfectly timed magical barrier, while he breathes a sigh of relief and thanks her for saving his skin, as she looks genuinely relieved that her magic actually held up under the pressure. While they both pause, suddenly noticing something strange happening in the distance, as a mysterious signal flares up in the sky, demanding their immediate attention, while they realize they need to hold the line until reinforcements can finally arrive as the serpent monster starts charging up another massive attack right in front of them. While the whole group gathers together, realizing they are completely out of their depth as they scramble to get into position, urging each other to stay focused and alert, while she begins chanting an incantation to summon a protective spirit for their defense. Leash channels her energy to summon a defensive barrier, hoping to keep everyone safe while the rest of the group huddles behind her, bracing for the incoming impact. As she admits she usually struggles with magic, making this effort even more impressive, while a dark, crackling orb of energy hurtles toward them, threatening to shatter their defenses as she desperately pours more power into the shield, her eyes wide with pure focus, while a sudden intense glow erupts from her hands, signaling a breakthrough in her ability and a massive, shimmering wall of light manifests, successfully deflecting the monster's devastating magical blast. While the others stare in total disbelief at her sudden display of raw, hidden talent as the shockwave from the collision sends debris flying, forcing them to hold their ground, while the dust begins to clear, revealing that they have somehow survived the direct hit. Rega rushes over to check on the group, relieved that everyone made it out safely, while they spot a glowing magic stone left behind by the defeated serpent-like beast. As Rega gets fired up, clearly annoyed that his sister was put in such danger, while the rescued civilians express their gratitude, making the whole group feel like total heroes. As the knight watches the scene unfold, his expression softening as he observes their success while he finally approaches his sister, clearly relieved to see she is completely unharmed, as he takes responsibility for the security lapse, apologizing for the trouble the city faced. While the king steps in to thank Takuma and the others for their brave intervention, as Rega jokes that things would have been much worse without their quick, decisive actions, while he casually mentions his connection to the castle guards, leaving our guy totally confused. Takuma is left completely stunned by the sudden turn of events, while the others start debating whether Leash actually pulled off that massive defensive feat, as she insists it was actually Argai's power that made the difference, while he feels totally drained and confused about his own lack of magical ability as his companion checks in on him, clearly worried about his exhausted state, while Rega jumps in with a casual suggestion to keep the momentum going as the group watches the scene from a distance, feeling the weight of the situation, while the king and his advisor stand together, overlooking the aftermath of the chaos. As they discuss the mysterious nature of the attackers who breached the city's defenses, while the king notes that the intruders remain a complete enigma to his scouts. This advisor scoffs at the idea of an ordinary person discussing such divine prophecies, while noting that the supposed savior they met matches the legends perfectly in every way as they continue their quiet conversation, keeping a close watch on the group's movements. While the young girl remains curious about the mysterious origins of their new companion as the sun sets over the castle walls, marking the end of a long day, while Takuma pushes through his intense physical training, counting every single repetition with focus as the others watch him struggle, clearly impressed by his dedication to getting stronger while he keeps grinding away, determined to prove he can hold his own here. As he enthusiastically lists his daily routine, leaving everyone else stunned by the sheer volume, while he reflects on how much he has learned about combat and self-defense lately. This little girl strikes a determined pose, ready to show off her latest training progress, and she hilariously trips over herself, tumbling into a clumsy heap on the ground while she laughs off the mistake, clearly enjoying the supportive energy from her friends. As the group turns their attention to Takuma, asking if he is feeling motivated too while he questions if a 25-year-old human can really still improve his physical limits, and he decides that he has plenty of room to grow despite his age, while he admits that his own magical abilities remain a total mystery to him, as he recalls advice about focusing on physical strength since his powers are unreliable, while the team agrees that hard work is the best way to get stronger now. And he suddenly remembers something important that has been weighing on his mind lately. Takuma wonders if they should be chasing the Demon King instead of just training, while Leash explains that her elven upbringing kept her sheltered from the ongoing war as he learns the elven nation maintains a strictly neutral stance in the conflict, while they discuss how this region feels far removed from the front lines of battle. as our guy realizes that traveling the world really changes your perspective on danger. While they get back to their intense workout routine to keep their skills sharp as a mysterious glowing light suddenly appears in the distance, catching everyone off guard. While the group pauses their activities to investigate the strange occurrence near the tavern as they observe a gathering of knights and locals reacting to the sudden anomaly. While a sharp-eyed elf analyzes the situation, noting the immense magical potential of the newcomer, this elf girl is clearly enjoying her drink, though she seems a bit tipsy already while the others watch her with concern, realizing she might have grabbed the wrong cup as she clumsily asks for some milk instead, clearly struggling to keep her composure. While the group finally reunites with everyone feeling pretty exhausted after the long day, as she accidentally hands over another alcoholic beverage, much to our guy's confusion. While he reflects on his failed workout, admitting he could not even finish his basic reps as she beams with excitement, claiming that their secret training session was actually super fun. While she vows to keep pushing herself to get stronger through more real combat experience as the knight notes how impressive her determination is, especially coming from someone so young. While she looks ahead with a serious expression, ready to protect the people of this city. With a bright, confident smile, the young elf insists she can handle anything that comes, while her brother scolds Takuma for being a bad influence on his precious younger sister as the protective sibling gets flustered, denying any weird obsession while everyone else watches on, while he desperately tries to silence the teasing, clearly embarrassed by his own over-the-top behavior. As he begrudgingly admits that Takuma is not such a terrible guy after all, while he finally decides that trusting his sister with the hero is actually acceptable, as he asks the group how he should properly express his newfound sense of approval, while the atmosphere turns awkward and quiet as everyone waits for his next move, as he offers a sincere apology for his past behavior and asks them to look out for her. While the whole group shares a laugh, relieved that the tension has finally melted away. With her face turning bright red, the young elf struggles to keep her composure, while her brother suggests it is finally time for them to head to their rooms as she shyly tugs on Takuma's sleeve, clearly wanting to keep their momentum going, while she insists on heading off with him, leaving the others to handle the cleanup. As the group encourages them to hurry along while they deal with the remaining tasks, while a dim lantern flickers in the hallway, casting long shadows over their path as they reach their destination, with the elf still looking flustered by the entire situation, while she mentions needing a bath, clearly feeling overwhelmed by the day's intense events as she makes a hilariously panicked request that leaves our guy completely stunned and speechless. While they both stand there in a state of total embarrassment, unsure of what is next, this poor guy is completely caught off guard by her sudden, shy behavior, while she tearfully begs him not to leave her alone in this state as they awkwardly navigate the tension of being in such a private space. While he tries to help her out, feeling his heart race with every movement as she giggles uncontrollably, finding the whole situation surprisingly ticklish and lighthearted. While they share a moment of intense closeness that leaves them both breathless as she finally manages to get comfortable, feeling relieved that the ordeal is over. While he turns away, trying to keep his composure despite the overwhelming atmosphere as the quiet room settles down, allowing them both to finally catch their breath, while she gratefully accepts a glass of water, signaling the end of their chaotic night. Leash sits quietly while Takuma watches her, the atmosphere finally calming down after everything, as she admits that he has truly impressed her with his recent actions and growth while he reflects on how far he has come since they first met in battle, as she points out his intense training sessions with Reiga, leaving him feeling quite embarrassed while he confesses that he only pushes himself so hard because he fears being weak. As she enthusiastically agrees that she also wants to become much stronger for their journey while her face lights up with a determined, blushing smile at the thought of improvement. As he tries to downplay his own progress while acknowledging her genuine desire to succeed, while she explains that her lack of magical talent is a common struggle back home, as Takuma realizes that the elven perspective on strength and magic is completely different here. Leash admits that watching him train has really inspired her to improve her own magic, as she expresses a sincere desire to grow stronger so she can better support her savior while she happily shows off her favorite weapon, clearly proud of her new combat gear. As she explains how she has been learning about different fighting styles outside her homeland, while she shares how much fun she is having finding equipment that actually suits her. As she gushes about how cool the Royal Knights are, leaving our guy feeling totally flustered, while they finally decide it is time to call it a night and get some rest as she jokingly suggests a goodnight kiss, catching him completely off guard with the request, while her brother suddenly bursts in, absolutely losing his mind at the suggestive turn of events as he stares in total shock, his face turning bright red from the sheer embarrassment. Peeking around the corner, the observer catches the duo in a very compromising position, while the realization hits that the situation is far more intense than anyone expected as the tension in the room spikes, leaving our guy scrambling to explain himself, while he tries to maintain some boundaries despite the overwhelming closeness of the moment as she pouts, clearly feeling rejected and embarrassed by his sudden attempt at restraint. While she clarifies that her hesitation earlier was not out of dislike, but pure shyness as the revelation hits him, leaving him stunned by her honest and vulnerable confession, while he struggles to process the fact that she actually wanted to be close. As she presses him for an answer, her face glowing with a deep, nervous blush while he finally understands her true feelings, leaving him completely breathless and utterly shocked. Everything changes in a heartbeat as they finally share a long-awaited, intimate moment together, while the atmosphere grows heavy with emotion, leaving them both completely lost in the experience as the world around them seems to fade away, focusing entirely on their deep connection. Suddenly, a mysterious figure bursts onto the scene, completely ruining the romantic mood with flair while she teases our guy about his progress, clearly amused by the sudden, awkward interruption. As he tries to shield his companion, feeling the heat rise in his face instantly while the intruder continues to chatter away, oblivious to the massive tension she just created. As he stares back in total disbelief, wondering how this situation could possibly get worse while she keeps pushing the boundaries of their comfort zone with her relentless, playful commentary as she suggests even more wild ideas, leaving them both stunned by her sheer audacity. She reminds him that their bond is still strong and encourages him to keep going, while they share a quiet, intimate moment that leaves them both feeling a bit overwhelmed as he steps away to regain his composure, trying to process the intensity of their connection. While the others tease him about his progress, clearly enjoying the drama unfolding before them as he tries to deflect their playful prying, feeling flustered by all the unwanted attention. While he apologizes to Mao for the delay and suggests that it is time for bed as they settle in for the night, finding comfort in each other's presence after the chaos. While she excitedly checks her bag, making sure all her important items are packed away as she beams with joy, showing off her adorable new accessory that suits her perfectly, while she wonders if she can do something special for him in return for his kindness. Takuma feels happy that his efforts are appreciated, especially after such a long day, while Leash excitedly suggests she wants to try her hand at sewing something special, as he agrees to help her out, surprised by her sudden interest in the craft, but things quickly go south as she struggles with the needle and thread, while she dramatically cries out that the needle is attacking her, making him laugh as they both realize that sewing is way harder than it actually looks. While someone calls out for Takuma, interrupting their quiet moment of domestic failure as a new arrival shows up with a mysterious gift for our guy, while he awkwardly tries to decline, feeling bad about accepting presents from strangers, as the visitor playfully insists he change his clothes, leaving him totally confused. A large wooden tub fills with a strange, squishy substance harvested from local monsters, as the young elf girl excitedly shows off the pile of slime to our guy. While he beams with genuine gratitude, clearly impressed by her hard work and dedication, as she blushes, trying to play it cool while dismissing his praise as unnecessary, while another companion chimes in with a teasing comment about their growing mutual bond as he pokes the gelatinous mass, finding the texture surprisingly soft and fun to touch, while the group discusses the idea of exchanging gifts to show their appreciation. As she pauses to think, pondering what kind of present would actually be perfect while she suddenly gets a bright idea about gathering rare items to help him out, as he immediately panics, trying to stop her before she gets carried away again. Takuma freaks out at the thought of her going on a dangerous monster hunt alone, while she realizes that trying to impress him with reckless heroics is a bad idea as a cute little penguin messenger arrives to deliver a surprise, catching them off guard. While someone knocks on the door, causing a sudden and very awkward interruption for them, as she gets caught in a compromising state, turning bright red from the unexpected visitor while they scramble to cover up, trying to act like nothing weird is happening here. As the group discusses what kind of gift might actually make our guy happy today, while she enthusiastically agrees to head out on a shopping trip to find the perfect item. As they wander through the market, debating whether a new hat would suit his style, while they finally spot something promising, hoping it will be the perfect gift for him. Scanning the market stalls, the girls find some cute treats that catch their eyes, while Takuma joins them, pointing out that they should enjoy the snacks together as they happily munch on their sweets, clearly enjoying this rare moment of peace, while the group decides to head into a shop to look for something special. As Mao sighs, realizing that high-quality gear is way out of their current budget, while they browse the shelves, wondering if they can afford anything meaningful for him as Leash asks Mao what kind of gift she really wants to give Takuma, while the young girl pauses to think, feeling the pressure of finding the perfect item as she explains that she wants something he can use and keep for a long time. While her eyes light up with determination as she starts brainstorming some truly heartfelt ideas, Leash admits she really wanted to make him something handmade, despite how difficult it is, while Mao catches on to her sweet intentions and starts brainstorming some better gift ideas as they whisper together, plotting the perfect surprise to show their appreciation for our guy, while they get excited about asking Noelle for help, hoping to craft something truly special. As Takuma walks in, completely unaware that the girls are busy preparing a secret gift while she shyly approaches him, finally ready to present the token she worked so hard on as she reveals a handmade necklace, carefully wrapped and offered with a nervous, hopeful smile. While he is genuinely stunned that she put so much effort into creating such a treasure as she explains that Leash helped her with the process, even though they struggled quite a bit. While she asks him to accept the gift, blushing deeply as she waits for his reaction. She nervously covers her eyes, hoping her little surprise will be well received by him while she peeks through her fingers, waiting for his reaction with a shy, hopeful expression as our guy beams with genuine joy, clearly loving the new necklace she picked out, while she glows with pride, absolutely thrilled that her gift looks so good on him. As she laughs happily, feeling relieved that her hard work actually paid off in the end, while they reflect on the effort it took to craft such a meaningful token together. As the group continues their journey, sharing a lighthearted moment while walking through the town while they spot a shop that catches their interest, eager to see what else awaits as the others watch them with amusement, noting how well they get along these days. While a friend teases them about their recent closeness, leaving our guy feeling totally flustered. Leash tries to brush off the awkwardness of the previous night, keeping things strictly professional, while Noelle suddenly jumps into the conversation, clearly excited about her own recent shopping trip as the group gathers around, sharing a laugh while teasing each other about their day, while Takuma shifts the focus back to their main mission in the bustling royal capital. As Noelle enthusiastically brags about the high-quality gear she found while browsing the local shops, while everyone stops in their tracks, noticing a sudden shift in the group's overall mood as Takuma turns to check on Mao, who seems to have gone quiet lately, while she looks up with wide, watery eyes, clearly dreading the thought of their departure as Noelle expresses how much she will miss her, making the atmosphere feel quite heavy. While they decide to stick together a bit longer, choosing friendship over their original plans. With their funds running low, the girls decide it is time to start earning money, and they share a sweet, affectionate moment that leaves everyone feeling warm and fuzzy inside as a few days pass by in the blink of an eye, leading them to the capital, where they arrive at the grand royal castle to address the pressing matters at hand. While the group receives orders to head toward the dragon-guarded city of Carol immediately, as they prepare for the journey, exchanging heartfelt goodbyes with those they are leaving behind, while a companion entrusts Takuma with looking after the girls during their upcoming dangerous travels. As he gets teased for his restraint, blushing furiously while trying to maintain his composure, while the cat-like messenger chimes in with some cheeky, lighthearted commentary about his recent behavior. As the royal representative provides final instructions on the route they must take to Carol, Takuma wonders about the mysterious robed group, questioning if they are part of the religious order, while Leash explains that the order focuses on helping those in need and offering prayers as the group gets excited at the prospect of potentially encountering a legendary dragon, while their companion quickly dampens the mood by noting that dragons rarely visit human settlements. As she adds that finding any rare loot from a dragon would be incredibly lucky, while the girls express their genuine enthusiasm about the possibility of meeting such a creature as the trio stands before the grand castle gates, ready to embark on their next adventure, while they wave goodbye to their friends, heading out into the open road with high spirits as they pause to appreciate some local fruit, enjoying the peaceful nature of their journey. While a friendly local offers them a ride, helping them cover more ground on their way, our group waves goodbye to the friendly merchant after catching a ride to the crossroads, and they watch the wagon roll away while feeling grateful for the unexpected travel help as the trio sets up a cozy campfire to rest and discuss their upcoming path, while the vast, open horizon stretches out before them as they prepare for the journey. As they chat excitedly about the legendary dragon village waiting for them down the road, while they suddenly notice a strange crowd gathered ahead, blocking their intended route entirely as they approach a deep chasm only to find the bridge has been completely destroyed, while Takuma stares at the broken path, realizing their shortcut is now totally off-limits as the girls sigh in frustration, knowing they have to find a long detour instead. While a mysterious figure demands a toll payment before they can even think about passing, that winged stranger suddenly demands a toll, claiming he just wants their mana as payment, while the nearby villagers panic at the sight of a demon, causing total chaos everywhere as Takuma watches the crowd scatter, realizing this guy is definitely not a normal monster, while the demon brushes off the commotion, clearly annoyed by all the extra noise and trouble. As he prepares to make his move, closing the distance with a sudden, swift motion, while our girl steps up to protect the group, standing her ground against the threat as she confidently declares that she can take him down without any real help needed, while the demon smirks, seemingly impressed by the sheer amount of mana she is radiating as she challenges him to a direct test of strength, ready to prove her power. While she lunges forward to engage him, starting a high-stakes clash right in the open, she launches herself at the winged opponent, determined to intercept his aggressive advance immediately, while the demon mocks her for taking such a reckless head-on approach against him as he dismisses her combat skills entirely, shifting his focus toward our guy instead, while Takuma watches in sheer terror as the demon reaches out to grab him. As a dark, ominous energy manifests, signaling a dangerous turn in this sudden encounter, while the force of the blast sends shockwaves through the area, throwing everyone off as Takuma realizes the sheer scale of the power they are dealing with today, while the demon taunts him, warning that he needs to flee before things worsen as our guy stares in disbelief, wondering if he is truly about to be consumed. While a massive, draconic presence emerges from the chaos, looming over them in the clearing, that massive, ancient creature stares down at them with an intensity that freezes everyone in place, while Takuma stands there completely shell-shocked, unable to process the sheer scale of the legendary beast as the girls can barely contain their excitement, realizing they are actually standing before a real dragon. While the creature shifts its gaze, seemingly curious about the group that just interrupted its quiet day as the surrounding crowd watches from a distance, equally stunned by the sudden appearance of the monster, while the girls exchange wide-eyed looks, totally captivated by the majestic presence looming over their small party as Takuma tries to keep his cool, though he is visibly sweating from the overwhelming pressure. while the dragon stretches out, its long tail curling around the landscape as it observes the travelers as she lets out a surprised gasp, wondering what the creature could possibly want with them now, while our guy looks on in disbelief, hoping this unexpected encounter does not turn into a total disaster. Takuma freaks out as the massive dragon suddenly takes off into the sky, while he panics about needing to catch up to the girls before they disappear. As he gets scooped up by a tiny companion who decides to take charge, while he wonders if she is actually strong enough to handle this wild situation as they are launched into the air with incredible force, leaving the ground behind while he hangs on for dear life, completely overwhelmed by the sudden, rapid ascent as they soar through the clouds at breakneck speed, closing the distance to the beast, while he watches in awe as they leap across the vast, open chasm effortlessly. As they land on the other side, leaving him breathless and questioning his own senses while they finally touch down, though he is still reeling from the intense ride. With the chaos finally settling down, our girl makes a mad dash toward the village, while the rest of the group stands around, still trying to process that wild encounter as they scan the area, hoping to find their lost friends in the sudden commotion. While Takuma finally spots them, letting out a massive sigh of relief at the sight as the bustling village comes into view, filled with people preparing for a local festival, while the crowd moves around them, making it surprisingly difficult to navigate the busy streets as she points out their companions, beaming with excitement now that they are finally reunited, while the girls look absolutely stunning in their traditional outfits, catching everyone's eye in town. As Takuma expresses his genuine relief, just happy to see them safe and sound again, while a local elder approaches them, curiously asking if they are associated with the Shrine Maidens. These villagers are absolutely thrilled that the Shrine Maidens have arrived to help them out, while our guy looks totally confused as he gets pulled into a sudden, tight hug as the girls explain that the village dragon just laid a rare egg after 10 years. While they realize a special ritual is needed, but the broken bridge is causing major problems as the elders beg them to step in and save the day for the upcoming ceremony. While the group wonders why the dragon would specifically choose them for such a big task as they discuss the bridge collapse, suspecting it might be the work of some local troublemakers, while the villagers confirm that dark forces have been lurking around, targeting the area lately. As the truth comes out that the dragon itself is the actual target of these enemies, while they learn that the dragon's power is so immense it draws dangerous people like moths. Leash breaks down the terrifying reality of demons, explaining they are far more dangerous than monsters, while Takuma realizes the winged attacker they just faced was definitely in a league of its own as the girls get super hyped about meeting a real dragon, totally ignoring the surrounding danger. While the village elder drops a bombshell, noting that the dragon actually dislikes men and children as the group is directed to a local inn to wait out the upcoming sacred ceremony, while Takuma tries to cheer up a disappointed Mao, encouraging her to enjoy the local festival as they settle into their temporary lodging, grateful for the hospitality provided by the village elders, while our guy watches over the girls, feeling the weight of their mission starting to sink in. As they examine an ancient mural depicting the dragon, searching for clues about its mysterious past, while they start questioning the locals about the legends surrounding the beast and its true origins. Takuma carries the girl into the room, hoping to get her settled in quickly, but things get awkward fast when she struggles with the traditional shrine maiden attire as she admits she has absolutely no idea how to put on these complex clothes. While the elder gets flustered and tries to rush out to find some help, as the girl keeps tugging on his sleeve, completely oblivious to the social tension while Takuma tries to explain the situation, feeling his face heat up from embarrassment. As the group finally makes their way toward the hidden mountain path, while they climb the long stone stairs leading deep into the dragon's territory as the girls walk ahead in their new outfits, looking ready for the ritual. While they finally reach the summit to see the legendary dragon resting right there, these girls arrive with a special offering of sake to appease the legendary dragon, while the massive beast seems surprisingly chill as it accepts their thoughtful liquid gift as they catch a glimpse of the precious eggs resting safely in the nest, while the girls beam with joy, clearly thrilled to be witnessing such a rare moment. As the dragon begins to enjoy the sake, showing a softer side to its personality, while the creature lets out a happy sound, signaling that the offering was well received as the group celebrates the successful ritual, hoping the eggs will hatch without any trouble, while Takuma watches over them, feeling a sense of peace now that the crisis passed as he hopes the dragon will continue to visit the village while they are around. While their little companion expresses her own wish to see the majestic creature again soon. Wandering through the quiet halls, the group hears a faint, mysterious sound behind a door, and they cautiously approach, wondering if someone is playing a game of hide and seek as a desperate plea for help echoes from the other side, catching them completely off guard. While they kick the door open, only to find a surprising scene waiting inside the room. As they discover a woman tied up and looking distressed, clearly in need of immediate rescue, while they recognize her as a shrine maiden, leaving everyone stunned by her sudden appearance as she explains that dark forces captured her, leaving her trapped in this hidden location. While she reveals that an imposter has taken her place to sabotage the sacred ritual as the group realizes the true danger, seeing how the enemy is manipulating the ceremony. while they vow to stop the deception before the ritual is ruined for the entire village. With the ritual already underway, the group realizes they need to hurry to the site, but a sudden, sharp sound echoes as a bowl hits the ground and spills over as the legendary dragon begins to tremble, clearly reacting to something wrong with the offering. While the beast struggles against an unseen force, its condition worsening right before their eyes. As the imposter reveals her true colors, gloating that the tainted liquid has finally taken effect, while the group stares in horror, realizing the sacred gift was sabotaged to harm the dragon as that winged demon from earlier reappears, mocking them for falling into such a simple trap, while the girls recognize their enemy, instantly shifting into a defensive stance to protect the beast as the villain laughs at their incompetence, claiming they were far too distracted to notice him. While he prepares to finish his work, annoyed that these humans ruined his original greedy plans, this legendary beast growls in pain as the tainted offering begins to take its toll, while our girl steps up with her weapon drawn, refusing to let the villain win as the demon watches on with a cold, detached expression, clearly enjoying the chaotic scene while he moves to intercept her, his dark wings casting a shadow over the area. As he lifts a massive boulder, threatening to crush the village below if they interfere, while she stares in absolute shock, realizing the sheer cruelty of his twisted, calculated plan as the villain dismisses the lives of the villagers, caring only about his own goals, while he warns them to stay out of his way if they want to survive as he turns his attention back to her, taunting the group with his overwhelming power. While the demon remains completely unfazed, waiting for the final stage of his scheme to unfold. This villain eyes the dragon eggs, planning to snatch them up for his own gain, and he makes his move with a sinister grin, closing in on the defenseless nest as he lunges forward through the water, clearly intending to claim the prize right now, while the dragon turns to face him, shocked that someone would dare interfere so brazenly. As the demon charges ahead, completely ignoring the massive creature looming right over his shoulder, while a sudden massive explosion rocks the entire area, sending debris flying in every direction as the girls watch in total horror, realizing the situation has spiraled completely out of control, while the villain stumbles back, stunned that his reckless plan has actually backfired on him as the dragon lets out a pained, ragged breath, struggling to recover from the sudden attack. While the beast glares down with intense focus, ready to unleash its fury on the intruder, this massive dragon struggles against the toxic influence, its strength fading as the girls watch, while the beast lets out a pained cry, clearly suffering from the villain's underhanded sabotage as the demon prepares a final dark technique to finish off the weakened creature for good, while he channels his energy into a lethal breath attack, showing zero mercy for his target. As the girls realize they have to act immediately to save the dragon from certain doom, while Takuma shouts for Mao to launch him into the fray, desperate to intervene in time as she tosses him toward the enemy with incredible force, hoping to disrupt the villain's aim, while their tiny companion unleashes a powerful gust of wind to scatter the demon's dark energy as the villain stumbles back in total frustration, his perfect plan falling apart at the seams. While the group stands their ground, ready to face the demon head-on and protect the dragon, a massive shockwave erupts as the group desperately tries to intercept the villain's lethal attack, while the legendary dragon looks on in total confusion, clearly overwhelmed by the sudden chaos as Takuma screams in panic, realizing the sheer scale of the danger they are facing, while the girls scramble to find a way to stabilize the situation before everything collapses. As a powerful surge of energy tears through the air, creating a blinding, chaotic mess, while the dust begins to settle, leaving everyone wondering if they actually survived the blast as the dragon shakes off the debris, still looking dazed from the intense, magical fallout, while the group finds themselves in a heap, trying to recover their senses after the impact as the tension remains high, with everyone checking to make sure they are still in one piece. While they catch their breath, realizing the fight is far from over despite the narrow escape, this legendary dragon suddenly undergoes a wild transformation right before everyone's eyes, while the villagers watch in total disbelief as the beast shifts into a new form as a massive clawed hand slams into the ground with earth-shaking intensity, while the villain looks completely unhinged, muttering threats as he loses his cool. As the dragon looms over him, its gaze cold and filled with ancient power, while the creature rises to its full height, dwarfing the demon in a heartbeat as the villain stares up in confusion, wondering how the situation flipped so fast. While a massive blast of energy erupts, engulfing the area in a blinding light as the force of the attack sends the enemy flying back into the distance, while the dragon settles down, looking surprisingly cute and satisfied with the outcome. Everyone is stunned to see the dragon suddenly calm down and act so friendly, while the elder approaches the beast with total respect, acknowledging its legendary status as they notice the precious egg has been affected by the villain's toxic trap, while the group discusses how to neutralize the poison before it harms the contents, as the dragon looks on with concern, clearly worried about the safety of its offspring. While they decide to rush the egg back to the village for emergency medical treatment, as the dragon gives them a gentle nod, trusting them to save its little one while our boy comforts the egg, hoping it can hold on just a little longer. As they carefully carry the fragile prize away from the dangerous mountain peak together, while the shell begins to crack, signaling that the hatching process is finally starting now. This legendary dragon watches over the group with a surprisingly gentle and relieved expression, while the girl cradles the precious egg, feeling its warmth as the shell begins glowing as Takuma checks on the egg, genuinely surprised by the sudden signs of life inside, while the dragon leans in to nuzzle him, showing its gratitude for their heroic efforts as the group takes a moment to breathe while looking out over the vast landscape. While the dragon lets out a happy cry, soaring through the sky with newfound energy as the little companion beams with joy, clearly loving the feeling of the magical breeze, while she calls out to Takuma, pointing toward the dragon as it circles above them as our boy rests on the ground, feeling completely wiped out after all the excitement, while the girls tease him about his exhaustion, wondering if he pushed himself too hard. Everyone starts speculating about Takuma's mysterious healing powers after he helps the dragon recover, while he just feels relieved that the eggs are finally safe and sound again as a sudden movement from inside the shell catches their attention, signaling the hatching, while Takuma reaches out with a gentle touch to welcome the little one into existence as the adorable creature finally emerges and lets out a happy, high-pitched cry of joy. While the next day brings a calm atmosphere back to the village after the chaos, as the group meets with the village elders to discuss the recent, intense turn of events, while the elf girl excitedly explains how much she wanted to meet the legendary dragon as they exchange heartfelt goodbyes, feeling grateful for the rare materials and the amazing experience, while the party heads out on their next adventure, ready to face whatever comes next. This legendary dragon descends from the heavens, leaving the entire village in absolute awe, while everyone watches in disbelief as the majestic creature lands right before their eyes as the beast offers a friendly farewell, clearly signaling that the danger has finally passed. While Takuma shares a sweet, quiet moment with the dragon before it takes to flight, as the creature leaves behind a mysterious, heavy object that lands right in his arms. While the group stares in total shock, realizing they have been gifted a dragon egg as the legendary protector soars back into the clouds, leaving them stunned by its departure. While the village elder steps forward, expressing his complete trust in their ability to help as they discuss the responsibility of caring for such a rare and precious new life, while everyone gathers around to marvel at the egg, feeling the weight of their mission. Our girl wonders if the little egg wants to join them on their long journey, while Takuma secures it in a protective pouch that shields the contents from any harm as they marvel at how lively the egg seems, clearly ready for its big debut, while she beams with pure excitement, already treating the little one like a new friend as a mysterious woman suddenly appears, greeting the group with a warm and friendly smile. While she introduces herself as the Shrine Maiden, finally catching up to the traveling party as she expresses her deep gratitude for their help, relieved that everyone made it out safely, while she mentions she lives in the nearby town of Carroll, just down the road as the group realizes they are heading the same way and decide to travel together, while she admits that traveling alone after such a scary ordeal is a bit daunting. Takuma agrees that traveling alone is way too risky, so he invites her along and she is absolutely thrilled to join the party, clearly enjoying the new company while the group shares a lighthearted moment, savoring the peace after their recent battle. As they stroll together toward the town of Carroll, soaking in the pleasant atmosphere while they eventually reach a roadside rest stop perfect for a quick snack break. As the vendor hands over a warm, delicious treat that smells absolutely incredible, while the little elf stares at the snack in wonder, completely mesmerized by it as she takes a big happy bite, savoring the sweet flavor of the pastry while her eyes light up with pure delight, declaring that it tastes truly amazing as she excitedly runs over to share a piece with Takuma, beaming with joy. Our little companion watches the scene with wide-eyed curiosity, wondering what is going on. While the elf girl playfully offers a bite of her snack to Takuma, as he accepts the treat with a shy smile, clearly enjoying the sweet moment, while they both agree that the food is absolutely delicious, basking in the atmosphere as the elf girl watches him eat with a soft, affectionate gaze, feeling content, while the rest of the group observes their little display of closeness with amusement as one of the girls calls out, teasing them for acting like a couple. While Takuma looks a bit flustered by the sudden comment, caught completely off guard as the others laugh at their expense, telling them to get a room already, while the little companion decides to join in, forcing a bite of food on him. Takuma enjoys the snack, completely oblivious to the tension building up around him, while the girls keep pushing him to eat more, clearly enjoying the chaotic energy as the elf girl watches the scene with a mix of jealousy and quiet contemplation. While she apologizes for her charm, admitting she tends to captivate men without trying as she blushes, feeling a bit self-conscious about how much attention she is drawing, while the others try to reassure her, insisting that her company is actually very welcome as the conversation shifts, with someone pointing out her striking and mysterious appearance, while they start obsessing over her features, specifically noting how perfect her lips look. As they continue to gush over her natural beauty, leaving her feeling quite flustered, while she humbly dismisses the praise, causing the rest of the group to freak out. This girls start prying into the maiden's life, asking if she really lives in Carroll, and they get super excited, wondering if she can predict their futures or romantic prospects when she jokingly suggests that one of them might be a perfect match for Takuma. Leaving the girls blushing and flustered, while she finds their innocent reactions totally adorable, though she secretly thinks it is only a matter of time before he falls for her, while the little one remains blissfully unaware, focused entirely on sharing her tasty snack as the group finally arrives at the local inn to find a place to rest, where they notice a bulletin board filled with various requests from the local guild office. So Takuma suggests they pick up some quick work to earn extra cash before nightfall, while the maiden decides she is tuckered out and heads off to get some sleep. This maiden admits she feels a bit uneasy being all by herself in town, so Takuma kindly offers to keep her company while the others head out elsewhere as the rest of the party waves goodbye, leaving the two of them alone, while she secretly plots to use her charm to get closer to Arbo. As she tells him she needs to get ready, leaving him totally confused, while she heads to the room to prepare for a relaxing bath session as the warm water helps her unwind, letting all that travel stress melt away, while she sits there feeling completely refreshed and enjoying the quiet, peaceful moment as Takuma checks in on her, noting that she seemed pretty exhausted earlier today, while she mentions the pleasant scent in the air, clearly feeling very comfortable now. Takuma explains he whipped up a simple meal in the kitchen for everyone to enjoy, while the girls gush over how cute the food looks with its unique, creative presentation as they marvel at the strange shapes, wondering if this is how meals look here, while Takuma suddenly catches a serious vibe from the elf girl standing right beside him as she whispers that his aura is unlike anything she has ever encountered before today. While she leans in close, questioning if he is truly from another world after all as he freezes up, completely stunned by her sudden and intense observation about his origins, while she confesses that she has been waiting for someone exactly like him for ages. As the realization hits him hard, leaving him speechless and unable to process her words, while the atmosphere shifts completely, drawing them into a deep and unexpected moment of connection. This mysterious maiden pulls Takuma into a tight embrace, confessing she has waited ages for him, and she wastes no time suggesting they ditch the group to start their own private journey as the rest of the party wakes up to find the building completely empty and silent, while the girls stare in total shock at the note left behind on the table as they realize Takuma has actually run off with the maiden, leaving them behind entirely. While the group erupts in a frantic panic, accusing the girl of stealing him away as the little companion rushes out the door, determined to track them down right now, while the others stand there feeling completely abandoned and confused by this sudden cold betrayal as they struggle to process why Takuma would ever leave them without saying a word, while the reality of the situation sinks in, leaving them feeling heartbroken and totally lost. This elf girl stares at the empty room, trying to process where Takuma could have gone, while she notes that he even prepared a meal for them before disappearing without notice as the little companion munches on her favorite penguin-shaped sausage, completely oblivious to the growing tension, while the elf girl struggles to believe that Takuma would just abandon them like this as she convinces herself that there must be a logical explanation for his sudden absence. While she decides that panicking will not help and they should investigate the situation further as she suggests they keep eating while waiting for more information to surface, while the two of them continue their meal, trying to stay calm despite the confusion as time ticks away slowly, leaving them in a state of restless, anxious anticipation, while they discuss a local fortune teller who might be able to shed some light. They finally track down some leads on where the pair might have actually gone, while locals gossip about seeing the two heading toward a secluded forest nearby as the girls weigh the rumors, unsure if they should trust such sketchy intel, while they decide to wait until morning to start their search for the duo as the night settles in, bringing a sudden and unexpected change to their plans, while the little one spots something moving outside, shouting out in total surprise. As they scramble to the window, realizing they need to act fast to catch them, while the forest at night proves to be a dangerous place for a search as she calls out into the darkness, hoping to find any sign of him while a mysterious creature suddenly leaps out, catching her completely off guard in the dark. Our little friend dashes through the woods, frantically searching for any sign of her companions, while she follows a trail of magical stones that seem to lead deeper into the forest. As she eventually stops to sit by a small campfire, feeling completely lost and alone, while she admits that she just could not stay put when Takuma went missing like that as the realization that everyone is gone hits her, leaving her feeling truly heartbroken while she apologizes for worrying the others, clearly feeling guilty for running off on her own as they decide to regroup and search the forest together once the sun comes up. While she promises to behave and listen to the others during their big search tomorrow as they agree to get some rest, wishing each other a good night by the fire, while the quiet forest drips with moisture, leaving them to sleep in the dark silence. Moisture drips from the canopy above, landing right on the sleeping maiden's face, and she stirs from her slumber, feeling the cool droplet hit her skin while she snaps awake, complaining about the sudden splash of water on her. As she stretches out, feeling refreshed after a long and much-needed nap, while she pauses for a moment looking around in a daze of confusion, as she suddenly realizes she is back in the same spot, looking completely shocked while she wonders why her mana is recovering, feeling totally baffled by the situation as she touches her face, trying to figure out what is going on here while she tastes the mysterious water, noticing how dense the mana feels inside it. As she spots the little one sleeping nearby, finally understanding the source of the magic, this maiden suddenly reverts to her true demonic form, leaving her completely stunned and confused, while the rest of the party stares in disbelief at the sudden, drastic physical transformation as they immediately draw their weapons, questioning why she chose this moment to change back, while they frantically demand to know what happened to the little girl they once knew. as the panicked demon girl tries to come up with a quick, believable excuse fast, while she desperately decides to play the role of the innocent child to survive this, as the others look on with deep suspicion, clearly not buying her sudden, awkward act while they warn each other not to fall for the deceptive words of a demon, as she begs them to trust her and focus on finding Takuma instead of fighting, while she internally cries, wishing she could just stay in her child form for now. This party members confront the demon, demanding to know if she is truly who they think, and she confirms their suspicions, leaving everyone in a state of total, wide-eyed shock as she tries to gather her thoughts, looking completely lost in the middle of the interrogation. While they press her on the details of their first meeting to test her memory as she starts to panic, sweating bullets while trying to recall who stood beside her. While the others watch her closely, waiting for a slip-up in her frantic, nervous explanation as she admits she has no idea how this happened, feeling just as confused as them while the group exchanges skeptical glances, clearly doubting the validity of her bizarre, sudden transformation as she lets out a nervous laugh, trying to brush off the mounting tension between them while she abruptly turns and bolts away, leaving the stunned party behind in the dust. A runaway demon girl suddenly finds herself cornered by an unexpected visitor in the woods, and her eyes go wide with total panic as she realizes who just showed up while the newcomer looks just as shocked to find the demon hiding out here. As she tries to play it cool and act like she was just searching around while the other girl demands to know exactly what the demon is doing out here, as they both freeze up, sensing someone else lurking in the shadows nearby right now. While the newcomers realize the demon has been caught red-handed with these two adventurers, as the demon girl quickly covers her face, desperately trying to hide her true identity while she prepares to launch a sudden attack to eliminate the witnesses before they talk, as the adventurers watch in horror, finally grasping the danger they have stumbled into. This demon girl suddenly grabs her attacker's hand, stopping the confrontation in its tracks. While the newcomer recognizes her as the Demon Lord, looking completely stunned by the reveal as she quickly deflects the attack with a burst of power, sending her opponent flying, while she tries to play off the intense moment with a nervous, awkward apology as the party members realize her unique fighting style is a dead giveaway of her identity, while she desperately tries to spin a story to keep their trust, acting super cheerful. As they notice the strange, mana-rich water nearby, wondering if it caused her sudden shift, while she explains that absorbing the cave's energy forced her into this current form as she urges everyone to stop questioning things and focus on finding our missing boy while she pauses to think, clearly hiding something else behind that innocent, wide-eyed expression. Our demon girl senses Takuma nearby, feeling relieved that they are finally on the right track. But she is frustrated that her full power has not returned, making the search much harder as she suspects some kind of magic is masking his location, requiring a breakthrough to find him. While the scene shifts to a quiet house that seems to hold secrets of its own as a classic fairy tale begins, telling the story of a beautiful island lost to time, while a sad girl prays to the gods for help, hoping for a miracle to appear. As a hero is summoned from another world to save the land from a great evil, while the two embark on a legendary journey together to restore peace to their broken world as she admits that this childhood story has always been her absolute favorite tale to tell, while Takuma listens intently, unaware that he is living out the very legend she just described. She looks at him with pure adoration, insisting that he is the legendary savior she sought. While Takuma tries to deflect the heavy title, clearly feeling awkward about her intense, romantic focus as she gets lost in her own fantasy, completely ignoring his confusion with a dreamy expression. While he notices a strange, rainbow-colored aura surrounding her that he has never seen before as she loses herself in the moment, acting like a lovesick maiden caught in a trance while she suddenly snaps back to reality, realizing she has a task to finish for him. As she walks away to prepare a special drink, leaving him alone in the quiet room while she pours her own magical essence into a vial, intending to influence his very heart, as the glowing liquid drips into his cup, signaling a dangerous turn for our oblivious boy while she watches him prepare to take a sip, hoping this potion makes him hers forever. Takuma holds the cup, completely oblivious to the chaos about to unfold right in front. As the little creature launches itself like a projectile with surprising, high-speed intensity while it bounces off the elf girl with a comical, soft impact that leaves her stunned. As the tiny thing slams directly into Takuma's face, knocking him back in total surprise while he rubs his sore nose, wondering where on earth that little guy just came from, as the elf girl sighs, realizing her magical influence has faded away much too quickly. While she tries to regain her composure after that sudden, unexpected interruption to her plans, as Takuma checks on his little companion, asking what could have possibly upset it so much while she starts rambling about their supposed marriage, leaving him completely confused by her words as she doubles down on her fantasy, claiming he is her destined hero and husband. She keeps pushing the marriage narrative, totally ignoring our boy's desperate pleas to slow down. While she starts planning their future life together, completely lost in her own romantic delusions as she confesses that she simply cannot hold back her feelings for him any longer. While she leans in close, begging for his affection with a look of pure intensity as the overwhelming pressure of her magical aura causes him to lose his composure entirely, while she realizes she might have pushed things a bit too far with her power. As she continues to whisper his name, completely consumed by her obsession with the savior, while she finally makes her move, catching him completely off guard in the quiet room as the sudden surge of energy alerts someone else to their exact location in hiding, while our demon girl tracks the signature, finally closing in on where they are staying. our demon girl decides to just scoop up the others and dash away, while her companions are completely stunned by her sudden burst of raw power. As she sprints through the woods at breakneck speed to escape the awkward situation, while she suddenly trips up, losing her footing in the middle of the run as a cloud of smoke erupts, forcing her to revert back to her child form while the two of them blink in confusion, finding themselves in a strange new area as the party breathes a sigh of relief, happy to see the little one return while they quickly pivot back to the mission, wondering where Takuma has gone off to. As she points toward a shimmering light, sensing a divine presence waiting for them, while a mysterious, glowing deity suddenly appears to greet the group with a wave. Our elf girl is completely stunned to find a literal deity hovering right over them, while the divine visitor casually mocks the situation, clearly finding the whole ordeal quite amusing as she stares up in total disbelief, struggling to process the sudden appearance of royalty. While the goddess gushes about Takuma being a destined hero, leaving everyone else feeling confused as she admits that using cheap tricks to win his heart is honestly pretty low, while the deity points out that plenty of other girls are vying for his attention as she starts to doubt if her artificial affection can ever compete with genuine love, while the weight of her own insecurities begins to sink in during this awkward encounter. As she worries that her own beauty might just attract the wrong kind of attention, while she realizes that loving a savior is way more complicated than any fairy tale. She keeps spiraling into her romantic fantasies, convinced that every first experience belongs to him, while she imagines a life of domestic bliss and marriage with our completely overwhelmed boy as she declares her total devotion, only to be interrupted by a sudden, unexpected arrival. While Takuma stares in pure confusion, wondering who could possibly be coming to get them as the door bursts open with a loud crash, revealing the rest of the party, while the little demon girl rushes forward, calling out for Takuma with genuine, frantic relief as the sudden arrival brings everything to a screeching halt in the middle of the room, while Takuma looks back, completely stunned to see his friends standing there in the door. As the elf girl tries to explain away the situation, claiming she just manipulated his actions, while she insists that he never actually wanted to be here in the first place. This elf girl clings to Takuma, clearly overwhelmed by the emotional weight of their reunion, while she tearfully admits how much his sudden disappearance hurt her during their time apart as he offers a gentle apology for causing her distress, patting her head to comfort her. While the rest of the party watches, demanding to know why she was hiding him away as she bashfully confesses that she fell for him instantly and wanted him all to herself, while the scene shifts back to the quiet house where they are currently holed up as she begins to recount the classic fairy tale about a hero from another world, while she explains how she spent her childhood dreaming about meeting that legendary savior one day. As she gazes at Takuma with total devotion, convinced that he is the hero of legend while the others look on, completely baffled by her intense and sudden romantic obsession with him. She explains how she was captured by demons while trying to reach the capital, and how Takuma swooped in to save her just in the nick of time while she gushes over his appearance, perfectly matching the hero she always imagined meeting, as she notes how different he is from the legends passed down in her land. While the others listen in, trying to make sense of her intense, romanticized perspective as they point out that Takuma is just a normal guy, not some legendary savior, while she brushes off their logic, insisting that love at first sight ignores all facts as she offers a sincere apology for her previous behavior, hoping they can move on, while she declares her intent to marry him and treats the others as mere rivals. As the rest of the party just stares in disbelief at her sudden, bold proclamation, Sophia asks to join the party, hoping to travel alongside them on their journey, while the little elf girl beams with excitement, giving her a very warm welcome as she reminds Takuma that his status as a hero remains their little secret, while the group arrives at the border town of Carol, a bustling hub of activity as they spot a boat nearby, with someone calling out to them from the water. While the elf girl gets super excited, asking if they want to hop on board as they climb into the small vessel, ready to explore the town from the canal, while the water ripples beneath them, reflecting the bright and sunny atmosphere of the day as the elf girl waves enthusiastically at the locals, clearly enjoying the attention she gets, while they finally reach her shop, Aquamarine standing proudly at the edge of the water. Everyone arrives at the shop, where Sophia greets them with a warm and friendly smile, while the group steps inside, feeling a bit awkward about intruding on her private space as they notice the mystical setup, complete with a glowing orb for her fortune-telling, while she leads them toward the back of the building to show off a surprise as they discover a hidden private beach right behind the shop, much to their amazement. While the girls get super excited, immediately rushing out to enjoy the water and sun as they splash around, feeling all their travel fatigue melt away in the refreshing waves, while Sophia leans in close to Takuma, explaining that magic keeps this area totally hidden as she gets lost in her own romantic delusions, making our boy feel incredibly uncomfortable, while she hands him some swimwear, trying to keep the mood light despite her intensity. Takuma looks around, suddenly realizing that his companion has completely vanished from the beach area, while she stands nearby, feeling incredibly self-conscious and shy about her current choice of attire as she stammers through an explanation, insisting that her usual outfit is actually much more revealing, while she tries to downplay the situation, claiming that her other options are way more intense. as she covers herself in embarrassment, clearly struggling with the intense gaze of our oblivious boy, while he innocently asks her to take off the swimwear, causing her to panic in shock as she misinterprets his request entirely, reacting with a mix of intense excitement and total confusion, while Takuma pulls out some fabric he grabbed from the guild, ready to start a project as he begins measuring and cutting the cloth, deciding to craft something more suitable for her. While the little one gets wrapped up in the leftover material, looking absolutely adorable and cozy, she strikes a pose in her new outfit, clearly feeling much more confident now while Takuma praises her look, making the little one nearby jump with pure excitement as she beams with genuine happiness, feeling like her efforts have finally paid off, while the whole group enjoys the beach, laughing together as the tension finally fades. As she decides to formally introduce herself, explaining her unique skills and gathering information while they chat about her origins, clarifying that not all elves live in villages as she leans in, her expression shifting to something much more serious and intense, while she analyzes their magical affinities, noting their strengths with a sharp, observant eye as she compliments the others on their natural talents, keeping the conversation lighthearted. While Takuma marvels at her fortune-telling abilities, completely unaware of the deeper secrets ahead, Sophia explains that her fortune-telling is actually just reading the unique aura surrounding every person, while she describes how these shifting colors reveal a person's life force and inner thoughts as the elf girl wonders if she can learn to see these hidden magical signatures too, while the little demon girl excitedly asks if she can get a reading on her own future. As Sophia hesitates, clearly struggling to interpret the complex and mysterious energy radiating from the child, while she notes that the aura is a chaotic mix of many different powerful and ancient forces as Takuma jumps in, eager to learn more about his own hidden potential and magical capabilities, while she stares at him with a dreamy expression, completely mesmerized by his supposed divine radiance. As the others roll their eyes, tired of her constant insistence that he is a legendary savior, while she pivots the conversation back to their mission, asking if they are still hunting for him, Sophia keeps pushing the idea that she is on a quest to find her soulmate, while she casually mentions that she is also scouting for other potential romantic candidates, as the group notes that their current dynamic feels nothing like a standard adventuring party. While Sophia gets serious, pointing out that Takuma's aura is clearly that of an otherworldly visitor, as she questions whether he truly fits the mold of the legendary savior she envisioned while she gets completely flustered, admitting that he is exactly the hero of her dreams, as Takuma tries to steer the conversation back to reality by asking about her shop while a sudden commotion erupts nearby, with someone shouting about a lack of leadership. As the group turns their attention toward the source of the noise near the checkpoint while they prepare to investigate the disturbance unfolding in the distance before them, this group arrives at the town gate, only to find a massive crowd causing chaos, while the locals complain about the blocked path and their rotting cargo in the heat as Noel steps forward to check on the situation, asking the frustrated merchants what happened. While a familiar face suddenly calls out her name, catching everyone completely off guard as a boisterous older elf greets her with a grin, clearly happy to see her again. While Takuma wonders who this guy is, and Noel explains he is just an old acquaintance as the man teases Noel about finally finding a boyfriend, much to her total embarrassment, while the group tries to ignore the teasing and asks about the commotion at the gate. As the man explains that a bridge collapse caused by monsters has stalled all local trade, while he mentions that his apprentices are currently out checking on the situation at the village. This group wonders if something serious happened back at the village, while Noelle suggests they should head over there to check on everyone, as she insists on visiting her home to see if she can help out, while the older elf mentions a mysterious savior who passed through a few days ago, as he warns that the detour route is crawling with dangerous monsters, while the team realizes that fixing the bridge is their best bet for travel, as the girls get excited about the prospect of visiting Noelle's home village, while Noelle thinks it is the perfect chance to visit her grandfather before leaving, as they enthusiastically tell the older man they are going to check on the village, while he offers to arrange a carriage to get them there in just one day. Sophia decides to stay behind in town while the rest of the party moves on, and she turns her full blushing attention toward Takuma with a very specific request in mind, as he tries to explain the magical nature of dwarves to keep the conversation strictly professional, while he worries about how his own mysterious abilities might be perceived by the locals as the group piles into a wooden cart, ready to head out on their next adventure. While Sophia suddenly brings up the topic of their wedding, catching him completely off guard again as the others try to calm her down, pointing out that they barely know each other, while Takuma desperately insists that he is just a normal guy and not some legendary hero as she ignores his logic entirely, getting flustered and lost in her own romanticized version of him, while she suggests they start with a date to get better acquainted before the big day. This little elf girl wonders what a date actually entails, looking for some simple guidance, while our energetic companion gets super excited, declaring that she wants in on the action as the group continues their journey, with the elf girl clearly enjoying the lively company, while she mentally notes that she has some serious competition for our boy's romantic attention as she fixates on his hand, admiring his rugged look while the others watch in confusion. while she makes a move to grab his hand, completely ignoring any sense of personal space as the elf girl jumps in to intercept, grabbing Sophia's hand to prevent any further advances. While Sophia looks completely shocked by the sudden change in plans and the unexpected physical contact as the elf girl explains that holding hands keeps unwanted attention away, keeping things strictly professional, while she insists on walking on the shop side, leaving Sophia feeling a bit left out. Sophia keeps gushing over how cute the little elf girl is, while she leads the group to a private fitting room inside her shop as she asks Takuma if he would be willing to try on some special gear, while he emerges in a flashy, heroic outfit that makes him look like royalty as Sophia swoons over his appearance, though the others find the whole display hilarious, while she insists there is another outfit she really wants him to see today, as she reveals a much more daring, minimal costume that leaves little to imagination, while Takuma panics, quickly shielding the little girl's eyes from the sudden wardrobe change as the confused child wonders if she is missing something obvious about the situation, while Takuma desperately tries to explain the misunderstanding before things get even more awkward. This group wanders through the bustling market, taking in the sights and local food stalls, while Sophia tries to get Takuma's attention by offering him a refreshing, fancy tropical drink, as the little elf girl watches them with wide, curious eyes, clearly fascinated by everything, while the two ladies enjoy their shared beverage, finding the whole experience surprisingly fun and sweet as Takuma returns with some warm fish-shaped pastries, earning a bright smile from the group, while the little one decides to share her snack with Sophia as a thank you, as she suddenly realizes she might have been a bit too generous with her portion, while the size difference between the two pieces of pastry becomes hilariously and painfully obvious as she struggles with the realization, looking absolutely devastated by the unfair split of food, while she begrudgingly hands over the larger piece, feeling the sting of her own kindness. This little one happily enjoys her treat, completely oblivious to the awkward tension building nearby, while Takuma watches her with a soft smile, finding her pure excitement genuinely heartwarming as the day finally winds down and everyone settles in for a much-needed night of rest, while a mysterious visitor quietly slips into the room, clearly looking for a bit of company as she watches our boy sleeping soundly, unable to resist the urge to get closer while she carefully approaches the bed, her movements soft and calculated to avoid waking him, as she gazes down at him with a dreamy expression, ready to initiate her nighttime plans, while she gently slides into the space beside him, testing the waters of his deep slumber as she finally snuggles up against him, feeling content and victorious in her bold late-night move, while she drifts off to sleep with a blissful smile, perfectly happy to be right there. Waking up to find her unexpected guest still there, she feels a mix of surprise, while she tries to process the bold move made by the elf during the night as the morning light hits the room, revealing the awkward reality of their sleeping arrangements, with the sun rising over the town, signaling the start of a brand new day, while Takuma frantically points out her lack of clothing, causing a moment of pure panic as the group heads out into the bustling streets to explore the local mountain town, while they browse through a shop filled with high-quality gear and impressive handcrafted steel weapons as the local blacksmith proudly shows off his finest work, catching the little one's eye while they navigate the crowded market, taking in the lively atmosphere and the friendly locals as they run into some familiar faces who immediately start teasing Noelle about her companions. Finally reaching the workshop, the group steps inside to find a warm, familiar welcome, while the locals immediately start pestering Noelle about whether she has finally found a boyfriend as she tries to shut down the teasing, clearly embarrassed by all the unwanted attention, while someone calls out to the workshop leader to announce that Noelle has returned home as the striking, silver-haired woman steps forward to greet her, looking sharp and ready, while Noelle happily reunites with her, relieved to see that everyone is doing just fine, as the group is introduced to the workshop's top talent, who seems pretty impressed already, while the atmosphere turns wholesome as they start bonding over their shared elven heritage as the leader offers a friendly gesture, asking if she can pat the little one's head while the group watches the sweet moment unfold, perfectly content with this peaceful, heartwarming reunion. This silver-haired leader starts petting Takuma, clearly intrigued by his presence among the group, while the older elf from earlier keeps teasing Noelle about her supposed romantic partner, as Noelle frantically tries to clarify that they are just traveling companions on a quest, while the leader accidentally gets a bit too rough with her petting, causing Takuma pain as she gets serious and starts questioning him about his background and his mysterious origins, while Noelle jumps in to explain his memory loss and his surprising talent for cooking, as the little elf girl chimes in with some wild, embarrassing details about their journey, while the leader reacts with total shock to the chaotic story being spun before her as a familiar voice cuts through the tension, calling out to Noelle from the back, while a rugged, bearded dwarf finally steps forward to welcome them back to the workshop. Meeting Noelle's grandfather is a huge deal for the little elf, who is absolutely beaming, and the rugged dwarf introduces himself as Ralbik, looking like he's seen it all before as he notes how busy things have been lately, especially with the town's current crisis, while the workshop leader explains that they already sent a crew to handle the bridge, and the group realizes they just missed them, though this path will finally let them pass as the conversation shifts to whether Noelle is really planning to cross the border now, while the leader feels a pang of sadness seeing her friend prepare to head away, as she quickly brushes off the sentiment, insisting they focus on the immediate tasks ahead, while she details the monster trouble at the quarry that stalled their vital material collection as the group enthusiastically jumps in, offering their help to clear out the dangerous nest, This little elf girl gets fired up, ready to prove her worth on this mission. While the silver-haired leader keeps a close watch on Takuma to see if he is capable as they arrive at the dangerous quarry, which has seen its threat level spike recently. With the team gearing up and checking their weapons, looking surprisingly ready for the fight as the guides lead the way into the dark, telling everyone to stay close together, while the leader warns them to keep their guard up because danger is lurking nearby. As a wild cave mole suddenly pops out of the ground, catching the group off guard, while one of the local fighters immediately jumps into action to deflect the surprise attack as he yells at Takuma to stay alert, showing off some impressive combat reflexes himself while our boy wonders if they have to deal with these pests while mining ore. Our guide explains that rare ores tend to attract these pesky creatures in the deep. While the silver-haired leader stares intensely at the dark tunnel, sensing something truly dangerous ahead as the little elf girl wonders if they really have to defeat the cute monsters. While she quickly changes her tune once she realizes how much trouble they cause as the leader maintains a cold, focused expression, clearly ready to handle any incoming threat while Takuma tries to be the protective hero, offering to let the girl hide behind him. As a massive, screeching mole bursts from the earth, startling everyone with its sudden aggressive charge while Takuma admits he is not a fan of rodents, feeling a bit overwhelmed by them as the ground begins to tremble violently, signaling that something much larger is approaching them while a massive, bearded dwarf emerges from the shadows, looking ready to crush the entire nest. Our guide shouts for everyone to huddle up as the ground starts to give way. And the group quickly complies, bracing themselves for whatever is about to happen next as the floor suddenly collapses beneath them, sending our heroes tumbling into the dark abyss, while the sudden drop catches everyone off guard, leaving them scrambling to find their footing as they plummet into the depths of the quarry, surrounded by falling debris and dust, while the others call out in panic, desperately trying to locate their missing companions. As a mysterious glimmer catches their attention from the shadows of the lower cavern level, while the little elf girl bravely steps up, ready to offer her help to the group as she reaches out to pull the others to safety, showing off some surprising physical strength, while everyone breathes a sigh of relief, grateful that they survived the unexpected fall unscathed. This silver-haired leader insists on rushing after the others to ensure their safety. While the veteran dwarf notes that Noel seemed to use a tool during the fall as they waste no time moving forward to track down their missing companions, while the leader expresses her genuine concern for the pair who vanished below as the dwarf pauses to carefully analyze the situation, keeping his cool under pressure, while he directs the others to inspect the massive hole left by the collapse as they realize the ground was unstable due to monster activity, creating a dangerous maze. While the dwarf warns that leaving the creatures unchecked could spell disaster for the village as he reassures everyone that Noelle is capable enough to handle herself in a crisis, while the leader finally calms down, trusting in her friend's survival skills and quick thinking. Noelle and the little elf girl express their unwavering faith in their missing companions, while the camera pans down to show the deep, dark cavern floor below them. As Takuma slowly regains consciousness in the dark, feeling something soft against his face, while he realizes he is not hurt and wonders why everything feels so surprisingly cushioned as he slowly opens his eyes to find himself pressed against Noelle in the gloom, while the sudden realization of their intimate position makes his heart skip a beat as Noelle whispers for him to stay quiet and keep his voice down, while they both carefully scan their surroundings to see what they actually landed on. As they discover they are resting on a giant, slumbering crystal worm monster, while Noelle stares ahead in shock, realizing they are currently trapped on a dangerous creature. Takuma realizes the creature is blind, so they just need to stay perfectly quiet, while Noelle notes that while they could take one down, the swarm is overwhelming as they decide to sneak past the beast and head toward the upper slope, while they acknowledge that a slime cushion luckily saved them from any serious injury. As they carefully navigate the cavern, trying to avoid alerting the massive, slumbering worms, while Takuma apologizes for dragging her into this mess, though she brushes it off as she excitedly suggests they make up for it by grabbing some rare loot, while they notice the cave walls starting to glow with a strange, mysterious light as Noelle explains that the monorich crystals are exactly what attracts these dangerous monsters. While a giant worm suddenly stirs, forcing them to freeze in their tracks immediately. Holding their breath, they watch the massive creature slither past their hiding spot, while the tension of the moment leaves them both feeling a bit flustered as the little elf girl admits that the close proximity made her heart race, while the giant worm suddenly turns its attention toward their precarious position on the wall as the terrifying maw of the beast looms right in front of their faces. While Takuma pulls her into a tight embrace to shield her from the monster, as she looks up at him, completely stunned by his sudden display of bravery, while she realizes he is just as scared as she is but is still protecting her as they stay pressed against the rock, hoping the creature will lose interest soon while they remain locked in this intense moment, praying they can survive this encounter. Our little elf is clearly flustered as the tension in the dark cavern spikes. While Takuma checks on her, unaware that his proximity is making her heart race as they remain pressed against the wall, trying to stay hidden from the beast. While she struggles to process the intensity of their current, very close quarters situation as he keeps a protective arm around her, hoping to avoid any unwanted attention, while he suddenly realizes how awkward this is and pulls away with a frantic apology. as the giant worm passes right by them, completely oblivious to their presence nearby. While they share a quiet, awkward moment of relief now that the immediate danger passes as they exchange a shy, relieved smile, finally breathing easy after that terrifying close call, while the massive creature continues its slow, rhythmic crawl through the deep, dark quarry. Takuma and Noel keep moving through the tunnels, hoping to reunite with their group soon. While they focus on finding a safe path forward to avoid the wandering creatures as a massive, toothy worm suddenly bursts through the wall, blocking their intended route while they both freeze in place, terrified that the beast might sense their presence nearby as the ground begins to crack and shift under the pressure of the monster's movement, while the rest of the rescue team uses magical torches to light their dark path. As the silver-haired leader scans the cavern, looking for any sign of their missing friends, while the veteran dwarf explains that the unstable ground makes the search incredibly dangerous now as they use special gear to reinforce the walls and keep the smaller pests away, while they finally spot another monster ahead, signaling that the danger is far from over. Our little elf girl confidently steps up to clear the path with her magic, while the rest of the team watches on, impressed by her sudden burst of energy as she slams a rock into the debris, showing off her own unique mining technique. While the others worry about the structural integrity of the cave during her intense work, as the veteran dwarf explains that her precise strikes are actually a highly skilled craft, while he warns them that a massive nest of crystal worms lies just ahead. As the group stares at the wriggling swarm, realizing just how many monsters they face, while the dwarf gives the signal, trusting his team to handle the dangerous creatures ahead as the girls charge forward with excitement, ready to take down the entire worm nest, while the rest of the crew moves in to support them from the rear flank. This little elf girl unleashes her magic, clearing the path with an impressive strike, while the rest of the team watches her work in total awe of her speed. As she reports the area is finally clear, letting the group move forward safely, while the others realize Takuma and Noel are still nowhere to be found nearby as the veteran dwarf pauses to inspect the ground, looking deeply concerned about them, while he points out that a massive crystal worm likely caused the recent collapse as we cut to the missing pair, who are currently surrounded by giant worms, while they stare at a B-rank threat that is far larger than anything expected. As Takuma and his companion realize they are in serious trouble if they get spotted, while they pray the blind monsters stay oblivious to their presence in the dark cavern. Just as they think they are safe, a massive, toothy maw lunges right at them, with the creature's giant eye locking onto them, making their escape look completely impossible as our duo stares in pure terror, realizing they have been spotted by the beast. While the monster snaps its jaws, forcing them to dive out of the way instantly as they scramble across the cavern floor, narrowly avoiding a direct hit from the predator, while the worm continues its relentless pursuit, showing no signs of slowing down for them as Takuma questions how the creature can see them despite its lack of visible eyes, while he quickly tells his companion to hide in the sand to avoid further detection. As they huddle together in the dust, trying to keep their breathing as quiet possible, while the tension reaches a breaking point, leaving them both praying for a miracle now. This giant worm continues its relentless hunt, scanning the cavern for any sign of movement, while Takuma desperately draws the creature's attention away from his companion to keep her safe as he realizes he needs to create a distraction while Noel remains hidden and still. While he grips his weapon tightly, knowing he has to outsmart this massive, toothy predator as the beast lunges forward, forcing him to dodge with everything he has left in him, while he narrowly avoids the crushing impact, feeling the sheer force of the monster's strike as he notices his reflexes are sharpening, allowing him to track the worm's movements better, while he decides to bait the creature into a reckless charge toward the cavern wall. As he prepares to strike at the monster's tail, hoping to create a crucial opening, while he braces for the impact, praying his risky plan will finally turn the tide. Takuma strikes the monster's hide only to realize how incredibly tough its outer shell is, while he desperately scans the beast for any weak points to exploit during the fight as the massive creature slams into the cavern wall, causing the entire tunnel to shake. While he watches in disbelief as the worm dives back into the solid stone floor as the realization hits him that this predator can move through rock like water, while he dodges another lunging attack, barely keeping his cool as the situation turns dire as he worries that this constant barrage of attacks will eventually bring the ceiling down, while a sharp, jagged crystal suddenly erupts from the ground right in front of him. As the massive debris crashes down, creating a sudden, unexpected barrier in the cavern, while he quickly pulls his companion behind the rock to hide from the rampaging beast. Takuma realizes with a jolt that Noel is still exposed to the rampaging monster, and he immediately lunges across the cavern to reach her before it is too late while he curses his luck, desperate to get her out of the creature's direct path. As he channels his remaining energy into a desperate, last-ditch effort to create a shield, while he sprints toward her, praying that his quick thinking will be enough to save her as a massive chunk of debris crashes down with incredible force right between them, while the impact sends shockwaves through the tunnel, effectively blocking the worm's line of sight as Noel remains curled up and safe behind the rubble, unaware of the chaos nearby. While Takuma stands panting, relieved that his gamble actually worked to protect his companion as the terrifying beast reappears, looming over him with its massive, hungry maw wide open. Takuma stands his ground as the massive worm looms directly over him, with his eyes locked on the beast, realizing he has no room for error as the creature lunges with terrifying speed, snapping its jaws at his position, while the impact shakes the entire cavern, sending rocks flying in every direction. As he barely dodges the strike, his heart pounding from the sheer intensity, while he maneuvers around the monster, looking for any opening to counterattack as he realizes the creature's hide is too tough. So he targets a softer spot while he winds up for a desperate strike, hoping to finally make a dent as he plunges his blade into the monster, testing if his theory holds true while the beast recoils from the hit, giving him just enough space to breathe. Takuma realizes he needs one more solid strike to finish the job for good, while Noelle screams his name in a panic, fearing for his safety in the fray as the massive worm lunges toward her, forcing her to dodge with desperate speed. While the beast snaps its jaws, narrowly missing her as she leaps out of range as she unleashes a powerful magical blast, catching the monster completely off guard, while the resulting explosion of crystal shards sends the creature reeling back in pain. As Takuma rushes over to check on her, relieved to see she is totally unharmed, while the rest of their team finally arrives, relieved to find them both alive as they gather together, assessing the situation while the dust begins to settle down, while they realize the danger has passed and they can finally catch their breath. Takuma expresses his relief that everyone made it out of that cavern in one piece. While Noelle stares back at him with wide, innocent eyes, clearly still processing the ordeal as she reaches out to grab his hand, confirming he is actually there with her. With the night sky hanging over the landscape, marking the end of their long day as the scene shifts to the quiet safety of their home, tucked away from danger, while a glowing light flickers outside, signaling that life is finally returning to normal. As Takuma wakes up from a deep slumber, feeling the weight of the recent events while he sighs to himself, frustrated that he ended up needing to rest once again as Noelle rushes into the room, calling his name with a mix of worry and joy while she immediately pulls him into a tight, heartfelt hug, happy to see him awake. Noelle clings to Takuma, clearly overwhelmed by the relief of seeing him finally awake, while she blushes deeply, unable to hide how much his survival truly means to her. As she leans in to share an intimate moment, sealing their bond after the chaos. While they both get lost in the sudden surge of emotions following their narrow escape as Takuma pulls back in surprise, wondering what could have caused such a sudden reaction, while Noelle wipes away her tears, admitting how terrified she was that he might pass as she explains how she worried that her own actions might have put him at risk. While she thanks him for protecting her during the fight, her voice trembling with gratitude as Takuma gently pats her head to reassure her that he is perfectly fine now, while they share a sweet, quiet moment, happy to be safe and together at last. Noelle worries that her lingering scars might ruin her chances of becoming a bride, while Takuma stares back at her, completely stunned by her unexpected and heartfelt confession. As she playfully teases him about finding someone better, though her heart is clearly set, while she gathers her courage to ask him something she has been wanting to say as she officially requests to join their adventuring party so she can stay by him, while the rest of the crew bursts in, clearly excited to welcome her aboard immediately as the little ones rush over to greet her, happy to have her around now. While she shares a warm, affectionate moment with her new friends, feeling truly at home as Takuma suggests they talk to her family to make everything official for their travels, while she happily agrees, noting that her family is just the crew at the workshop. Everyone gathers around to make sure the pair is truly okay after their narrow escape, while our elf friend reflects on the journey ahead and the path she must take. As she reaffirms her commitment to a greater purpose that keeps her moving forward now. While the rest of the team checks in on Takuma, glad to see him finally alert, as he offers a sincere apology for all the trouble caused during their recent mission, while the veteran dwarf takes full responsibility for failing to spot the giant worm earlier, as he expresses deep gratitude to Takuma for keeping his granddaughter safe from the beast. While the group shares a lighthearted moment, teasing the duo about their close bond lately, as they discuss the possibility of traveling together to continue their grand adventure as one, while the sudden question about their ultimate goal leaves everyone looking completely shocked and speechless. Takuma explains their current mission is to reach the Savior and defeat the Demon Lord, while he adds that they also need to track down his family across the land. As he sheepishly admits that a divine message guided him to find his destined partner, while the others tease him about this mysterious prophecy and his sudden quest for love as the conversation shifts to Noelle, who is asked about the true purpose of her journey, while she cheerfully reveals she is out to find a husband to show her grandfather as Takuma realizes with a start that she is looking for a spouse, not just a boyfriend. While she asks if she can join their party to continue traveling together as a group as the whole crew celebrates the new addition, happy to have her along for the ride. While she strikes a cute pose, completely oblivious to the chaos she just caused for everyone. Noelle explains that her journey is divinely ordained, leaving the rest of the crew stunned, as they struggle to process the news that she actually had a direct encounter with a deity. While she doubles down on her claim, insisting that Takuma is her true destined partner, as the veteran dwarf admits he has never seen anything quite like this in his long life, while Noelle clarifies that she had already planned to find a partner before the divine message, as the elder gives them his blessing, telling them to look after each other while exploring while she rushes to give her grandfather a heartfelt hug, clearly touched by his warm approval. As the dwarf pulls Takuma aside to have a serious, private conversation about their future together, while Noelle happily waits in the background, completely oblivious to the intense talk happening nearby as the grandfather puts the pressure on Takuma to take full responsibility for his granddaughter's happiness. Takuma gets a serious reality check about his status as an outsider in this world, while the veteran dwarf stares him down, clearly unimpressed by his lack of awareness. As our boy looks back, completely caught off guard by the sudden, intense confrontation, while the elder presses him for answers, refusing to let him dodge the difficult questions as the dwarf explains that his long life has given him a sharp eye for character, while he points out that even divine beings seem to be taking an interest in him as the tension in the room spikes, leaving Takuma struggling to find the right words. While he finally admits his origins, hoping that honesty will keep him out of trouble as the veteran listens intently, noting that he seems just as human as anyone else, while the elder reveals just how rare and significant his arrival truly is for everyone. Takuma wonders why both he and the savior are considered such rare occurrences here, while the dwarf explains that visitors from other worlds usually signal major historical shifts. As our guy questions why he was even summoned if he lacks a legendary background, while the elder notes that plenty of others likely arrived without leaving any mark as the veteran emphasizes that people from his world are viewed as significant anomalies, while he warns Takuma to keep his true origins a secret to avoid being exploited, as the young man gratefully accepts this advice, understanding the weight of the warning. While the conversation shifts toward the more practical matter of his specific magical abilities, as the dwarf mentions Noel's report about his potential as an enchanter in the party, while he admits that while healing skills seem possible, they fall outside his own expertise. Takuma eagerly asks the veteran dwarf to teach him the basics of being an enchanter, while the elder prepares to break down exactly how this unique magical ability actually as he explains that enchanting involves channeling mana to boost gear or add special effects, while our boy realizes his previous strength boosts were just him accidentally using this skill as he asks for a practical demonstration, watching the dwarf ponder the best teaching method, while the mentor shows him how to focus his intent while pouring mana into items, as the dwarf warns that success depends heavily on the user's natural mana capacity levels. While they briefly wonder how Noelle manages such feats with her own unique, intuitive style as the elder hands him a potion bottle, telling him to give it a try, while Takuma stares at the item, feeling the pressure to prove he can handle it. Takuma admits he is struggling to grasp the sensation of channeling his mana properly, while the dwarf explains that such a feat should be impossible for someone like him, as he asks the boy to recall exactly what he was thinking during his success. While Takuma remembers the desperate moment he tried to heal Noelle after the fight as he reflects on his intense desire to soothe her pain and mend her wounds, while he recalls how he focused entirely on the urgency of using that healing potion as the realization hits him that his intent was the key to triggering the effect, while he holds the bottle tightly, channeling his emotions into the liquid once again. As the potion begins to glow, proving that he has finally mastered the basic technique, while he understands that his power is fueled by his genuine desire to help others. This veteran dwarf grins, noting that our guy finally seems to have grasped the concept, while Takuma asks if he can now attempt to imbue items with special mana blessings, as the mentor explains that the core principles remain the same despite the higher difficulty. While he demonstrates how to focus intent and channel energy directly into a wooden blade as he visualizes a flame effect and pushes his mana into the weapon with ease, while a burst of fire erupts from the sword, leaving our hero completely stunned as the dwarf notes that the strength of the effect depends on the user's capacity, while he hands the weapon over, challenging Takuma to try the technique for himself. As our boy takes a deep breath, steeling his nerves to focus his internal energy, while he channels his sincere desire to protect his friends into the blade's core. This wooden blade remains stubbornly blank, showing absolutely no signs of the magical fire, while Takuma stares at it, confused why his intense focus is not yielding any results as he closes his eyes to block out the world and find his inner resolve. While memories of his friends in danger flood his mind, fueling his desperate, heartfelt wish as he reaffirms his core motivation, centering his entire being on the need to protect, while the veteran dwarf watches in amazement as mana begins to swirl around the boy as Takuma grips the hilt tighter, pouring every ounce of his spirit into the weapon, while a sudden, brilliant flash of energy erupts from the wood, engulfing it in flames. As he opens his eyes, completely shocked that he actually managed to pull it off, while the blade burns with a steady, magical fire, leaving our hero totally stunned speechless. This dwarf mentor praises his progress, noting that a small flame is a great start, while our guy begins to process the reality of his new role as an enchanter as the veteran marvels at how an outsider can wield such protective power so naturally. While he warns the boy to keep his unique abilities hidden from prying, dangerous researchers, as he generously offers up a box of spare gear for Takuma to practice on. While the conversation shifts toward the source of Noelle's own mysterious, intuitive crafting style as they look over a shelf filled with cute handmade items that seem to move, while the dwarf catches Takuma staring at the strange trinkets with genuine, wide-eyed curiosity. As he explains that these were Noelle's early inventions, crafted before she even knew magic, while he shows off a chaotic spinning alarm clock that clearly caused some morning trouble. This veteran dwarf admits he just cannot bring himself to throw away these quirky inventions, while he apologizes for getting distracted by his granddaughter's early, messy attempts at crafting as Takuma acknowledges that her unique, unconventional talent might actually be useful down the road. While the elder makes a final, heartfelt request for him to look after his granddaughter as the night settles over the landscape, marking the end of their intense training session. While the group heads into a lively local tavern to unwind after a long day, as they take in the bustling atmosphere, noting how surprisingly crowded the place has become while Noelle excitedly calls out to them, eager to share some news over their meal. as she starts explaining the history of the dwarven village to an attentive Takuma while a random patron suddenly interrupts, loudly asking if he is really her new boyfriend. Takuma tries to calm everyone down while Noelle clings to him in the crowded tavern, as he awkwardly denies being her boyfriend despite the persistent questions from the local patrons, while the group decides to focus on the delicious local specialty, a hearty cave steak. As our hero takes a massive, eager bite of the perfectly cooked, savory meat while he savors the rich, intense flavor that immediately blows his mind away, as he exclaims in pure delight, completely forgetting about the earlier social tension, while Noelle beams with pride, explaining that this rare delicacy is only found here, as they discuss the unique worm-based sauce that gives the dish its signature kick. While the nearby dwarves celebrate their successful hunt, sharing the bounty with the whole tavern as another companion joins the table, asking to share in the feast with them. Noelle savors the rich, savory meat with a look of pure, unadulterated culinary bliss, while she admits the intense flavor is almost overwhelming, leaving her cheeks flushed red as the group continues to enjoy their feast, sharing snacks and laughing together heartily. While a cheerful companion decides to present a special handmade gift to her friend, as she reveals a cute character-themed meal that instantly captures everyone's undivided attention, while Noelle is completely stunned by the sheer cuteness of the creative edible display. As the atmosphere lightens, though the locals remain curious about the pair's true relationship, while a group of rowdy patrons corners Takuma to grill him about his status, as they claim to have known Noelle since she was just a little kid, while they excitedly offer to share embarrassing childhood stories to test his dedication instead. Noelle laughs off the rowdy crowd, clearly amused by the embarrassing stories being shared about her, while her grandfather confirms that she has been obsessed with enchanting since she was a tiny kid, as he recounts her early, chaotic attempts to make money with magical gadgets that often backfired. While the patrons continue to tease them, eager to spill more secrets about her wild childhood as Noelle tries to deflect the attention by excitedly bringing up her recent, much cooler adventures, while she begs her grandfather to listen to the incredible story of what she just experienced as she proudly reveals that she actually met a real dragon during their recent travels, while the veteran dwarf listens with genuine interest, impressed by the rare materials she acquired. As she explains how she immediately crafted a new item right there next to the dragon, while the elder examines the impressive scale, marveling at the quality of her latest creation. Noelle proudly presents her latest crafting achievement to her grandfather, showing off the new item, while she playfully promises that even better inventions are coming in the near future as the sun sets over the village, signaling a much-needed break for the entire party. While the girls head out to find a relaxing spot to wash away the day's fatigue, as they discover a hidden natural hot spring tucked away in the quiet, peaceful wilderness while they marvel at the warmth of the water, realizing it is actually a mana-infused spring as the group settles into the soothing heat, noting that this spot is a local secret, while they enjoy the relaxing atmosphere, letting the magical waters restore their tired, aching bodies. As a quiet moment of reflection washes over them while they soak in the steam, while they finally let their guards down, fully embracing the tranquility of this hidden sanctuary. While the girls soak in the warm water, they start chatting about their physical growth, as Noelle turns to her friend with a curious question about what Takuma might prefer while she playfully wonders if he is feeling lonely all by himself in the next pool. As her companion blushes, clearly embarrassed by the direction their lighthearted conversation has suddenly taken while the quiet atmosphere of the spring makes them both feel a bit more vulnerable, as Takuma relaxes in his own separate pool, letting out a deep, satisfied sigh of relief while he chuckles to himself, admitting that the water feels so good he sounds like an old man, as a mysterious, elegant woman suddenly appears, catching our hero completely off guard in the steam. While she looks down at him, seemingly confused about why he is bathing all by himself, as Takuma covers his face in total shock, realizing he has just been spotted by a stranger. This mysterious woman dismisses his panic, claiming she has some important business to discuss, while she coolly questions why he is so worried about the mixed bathing situation as she confidently asserts that she handles any troublemakers with her own two fists. While she notes that humans are cute enough to ignore, despite their strange, unique standards, as she admits she actually came here because she wanted to offer him an apology. While she explains that she never intended to put him in a position to protect her, as our hero bashfully replies that he was just acting on instinct during the fight, while they discuss the dangers of mining in worm nests and the risks they faced. As he confirms finding the mana ore inside the nest during their recent dangerous expedition, while she reveals that the ore was likely mutated by the ambient mana of the worms. She drops a bombshell, claiming that the gods have declared Takuma to be her destined partner, while our guy stares back in total disbelief, clearly not ready for such a heavy revelation as he tries to downplay the divine decree, insisting that Noelle is still far too young. While the girl in question listens intently, her face turning a bright, flustered shade of red as Takuma takes a moment to process the weight of her words in the quiet steam, while he admits he wants to take his time and truly understand her feelings first, as the mysterious woman nods, seemingly satisfied with his honest and thoughtful response to her, while the tension breaks just as a sudden splash echoes through the peaceful hot spring. As the other girls arrive, completely oblivious to the serious conversation that just took place, while they happily jump into the water, instantly turning the awkward moment into a chaotic party. This girls tease each other about joining Takuma in his pool, clearly up to no good as they giggle about him being lonely and decide to crash his relaxing soak immediately, while they find him already submerged and looking quite flustered by the sudden, unexpected company. As one of them notes how satisfied he looks despite the obvious social awkwardness unfolding, while they question why he keeps his eyes shut tight, making the situation even weirder as they decide to help him out by wrapping his head in a towel, while he panics at the sudden darkness, completely caught off guard by their playful antics as he struggles to breathe through the fabric, desperately trying to regain his composure. While the girls take advantage of his blindness to get closer than he ever expected as the scene shifts to a much more intimate, heart-pounding moment of physical contact. Noelle is completely flustered by the sudden physical closeness in the steaming magical hot spring, as she clings to her friend in a moment of pure, overwhelming social panic, while Takuma apologizes profusely for the awkwardness, trying to keep his cool in the dark. As the scene shifts away from the springs to the exterior of a quiet building, while Noelle cheers that their bridge mission is finished and it is time to head back, as the group pauses to reflect on their time together, noticing the shift in mood while a companion admits she still has one specific shop she really wants to visit, as she expresses a bit of sadness that they barely got to explore the village, while Takuma checks in to make sure she actually got a proper homecoming visit. As she sighs, agreeing that their busy schedule kept them from seeing everything they wanted, Noelle's grandfather suggests they borrow the village's fastest carriage to speed up their travel plans, while the group realizes they can reach their destination in just half a day, as their allies offer to handle the logistics so they can stay one more day, while Noelle excitedly volunteers to show Takuma around the village for the rest of the trip. As a cute little creature suddenly pops up at the window to greet them, while Noelle is absolutely charmed by how adorable the small visitor looks today, as Takuma is caught off guard when the creature delivers a mysterious letter to him while he reads a message from Sophia, who is clearly missing him quite intensely, as the others tease him about the passionate note while he tries to stay composed while the group prepares to wrap up their stay in the scenic mountainside village. This group finally arrives at the legendary dwarf shop, a place bustling with eager adventurers, while Noelle looks absolutely starstruck as she finally steps inside this iconic, hidden location as she gushes about the massive selection of gear that caters to every possible need, while Takuma watches her excitement with a smile, clearly happy to see her so energized as the shopkeepers immediately recognize Noelle, teasing her about her status and her companion. While she quickly pulls Takuma toward a restricted area, promising him a look at something special as she proudly unveils a collection of rare, high-quality armor sets designed for serious travelers, while she explains that these specific pieces come with unique, built-in magical protections for users as Takuma pauses, feeling a strange, sudden shift in the air around the display rack, while the armor begins to glow with an unexpected light, signaling a mysterious magical reaction. Noelle suggests that the glowing armor might be equipped with a special divine protection, as she explains that learning to control her own abilities has sharpened her perception, while our guy realizes his own latent power is finally starting to manifest clearly, as he asks his companion if she can also see the magical aura surrounding them, while the girls break down the natural magical affinities inherent to dwarves and elves. As Takuma wonders if these unique traits are common across all the different races, while they excitedly list off various groups like beastkin and giants that exist nearby. As the girls get super hyped about the possibility of meeting a giant someday while they wrap up their visit to the legendary shop, feeling satisfied with everything, as Noelle suggests they use the remaining time to upgrade their gear at a friend's. Everyone agrees that visiting Noelle's friend is a fantastic idea to round out their trip, as they arrive at the workshop to find her old acquaintances waiting for them while Amber greets Noelle with a massive hug, clearly thrilled to see her back again, as the friendly reunion turns into a playful squabble over who gets to hang out, while Noelle introduces Takuma to her friends, who immediately start teasing him about his status. As Jet grumbles about the situation, clearly unimpressed by the guy Noelle brought along today, while the group explains their recent victory against the giant worm to the surprised locals as the banter continues with everyone bickering over attention, leaving our hero feeling quite overwhelmed, while Noelle just beams at the chaotic energy, happy to see her worlds finally colliding as the friends keep roasting Takuma for his awkwardness, despite having a beauty right there. This group debates who should handle the gear upgrades for our guy and his friends, while Noelle insists she is perfectly happy with the outfit he already made for her, as the others decide to prioritize getting new equipment for Noelle and her companion first, while they turn their attention to Takuma to figure out his specific class and needs, as he admits that he just wants something durable and easy to move around in. While the group immediately knows exactly the right gear to suggest for his request, as they present a high-quality adventure set crafted by the legendary local dwarf smiths, while they explain that the special leather is both incredibly lightweight and surprisingly tough, as Noelle gets excited about the prospect of finding him the perfect matching weapon too, while they prepare to hunt down the best gear to suit his unique combat style. Noelle gets super excited, revealing she has already brainstormed the perfect new weapon for Takuma, as she proudly presents a classic bastard sword, praising its simple yet effective design while she encourages him to get a feel for the blade, insisting every adventurer needs one, as our guy tests the weight of the steel, clearly impressed by how well it handles while he offers a sincere thank you to Noelle for her thoughtful and practical gift. as they shift gears to discuss what kind of new gear she might need for herself while her friends chime in, revealing they have already prepared some special equipment just for her. As Noelle models a stylish, custom-tailored adventure outfit that perfectly suits her unique look, while the group gushes over how adorable she looks in the new, upgraded travel attire, as everyone agrees that the new gear is a perfect fit for their upcoming journey. Noelle and her friends share a warm moment of gratitude after their successful gear upgrades, while everyone beams with genuine happiness, clearly enjoying the positive vibes of their little group as they start planning their next move, wondering where they should head to next. While Takuma asks if there are any more shops they need to hit before leaving, as a friend suggests a great place for materials, catching the group's attention immediately. While she suddenly puts our guy on the spot, teasing him about his relationship with Noelle as he tries to play it cool, insisting they are just longtime friends and nothing more, while the others exchange knowing glances, clearly not buying his modest and slightly flustered explanation as Takuma tries to steer the conversation back to the task at hand, keeping things light, while the girls continue to tease him, laughing at how easily he gets caught off guard. This group heads out to find the perfect materials for their upcoming adventure, arriving at a local shop known for stocking all sorts of unique second-hand goods, where the shelves are packed with interesting items that catch everyone's curious eyes immediately. As Noelle marvels at the variety of magical protections hidden among the random inventory, while Takuma admits he is still struggling to grasp the nuances of these divine buffs. As his friend eagerly guides him toward the section filled with high-quality fabrics and leather, while they inspect the durable materials, noting how perfect they would be for crafting gear, as Takuma considers the practical side of making his own equipment for the long road, while the shopkeeper chimes in with a grin, reminding them that anything is possible here, as the group shares a lighthearted moment, clearly enjoying the excitement of their shopping trip. Noelle's grandmother makes a playful entrance, immediately teasing the group with her lively and energetic personality, as she gets introduced to Takuma, quickly sizing him up with a knowing and mischievous grin while she shifts her focus to the adorable outfit Noelle is wearing, asking about its origins as Takuma gives her a gentle pat on the head, clearly charmed by her happy reaction, while the grandmother directs them toward the sewing supplies, eager to help them find some materials. As Takuma surveys the various options, feeling a bit overwhelmed by the sheer variety of choices, while his attention is suddenly drawn to a specific high-quality fabric that seems to stand out, as the grandmother nods in approval, confirming that he has an excellent eye for premium goods, while she explains that this particular material is infused with divine protection, making it incredibly durable, as she gives him a playful wink, warning him that such quality comes with a steep price. Noelle pulls out her best puppy dog eyes, hoping to score a massive discount on materials, but the shopkeeper is not buying her act, calling her out for trying to cheat prices. After some back and forth, the owner finally agrees to a steep discount as a special favor. Since Noelle is a regular, she gets the deal of a lifetime on the premium goods, while everyone shares a laugh at how easily she charms her way through the local shops. As Takuma realizes these high-quality materials are exactly what he needs for his new gear, so he asks the girls to help him hunt down the perfect fabrics for his outfit, while the team enthusiastically agrees to scout for lightweight and stylish options that fit his needs. As Noelle beams with excitement, trusting her friends to pick out something that looks great, while the group dashes off into the shop, ready to find the best supplies available today. Night falls over the village as the group finally settles in for some well-deserved rest, while Noelle and her companion drift off into a peaceful, deep sleep side by side as the morning light hits the workbench, signaling the start of a productive new day, while our guy marvels at how quickly he managed to finish crafting Noelle's new outfit as he kneels down to apply the final, crucial step of divine protection to the fabric. While he whispers a sincere wish for the gear to keep his friend safe from harm as he waits for a reaction, hoping to see the magical aura flare up in response, while the lack of an immediate glow makes him realize that true enchantment takes more effort, as he decides to pour even more of his own focus and intent into the garment while he concentrates harder, determined to imbue the clothing with the power to protect her. Takuma pours his energy into the fabric, hoping to weave a layer of divine protection, as the material finally shimmers with a soft, magical light that signals his success, while he wipes his brow in relief, happy that the enchantment actually took hold this time, knowing he still needs to improve his skills to provide better safety for his friends, as he sighs, realizing that imbuing his new sword with similar magic is much harder. While he glances out the window, noticing someone approaching the shop in the dead of night as he spots a mysterious figure walking toward their location, sparking his immediate curiosity while he wonders who would be out at such an hour. Feeling a bit uneasy, as the moon hangs high over the landscape, casting long shadows across the path while he steps out to investigate the visitor, bracing himself for whatever comes next. Takuma senses someone trailing him through the dark, feeling a bit uneasy about the situation, as he turns around to find Rubelite standing right behind him with a stoic expression while he jumps in surprise, wondering how she managed to sneak up on him so quietly, as she explains her presence by mentioning she saw him wandering out late at night, while he asks if she is here to interfere with their business, hoping for some clarity. As she brushes off his concern, noting that others have arrived to join the conversation, while Takuma stares in confusion, trying to process why people are visiting at this hour. as a group of mysterious individuals emerges from the shadows to meet with the pair, while one of the newcomers reveals a striking appearance that catches our guy completely off guard, as he realizes with a jolt that he is standing face to face with a demon kin. This demon kin confirms the order is ready, keeping the mood surprisingly professional and calm, while our guy stares in complete shock, still processing the reality of this unexpected encounter as the demon turns to his companion to discuss the current situation and their next steps. While they exchange a brief look, clearly relying on each other to handle the delicate matter as the demon kin shifts his cloak to reveal a small, hidden presence trailing behind him. While a tiny, wide-eyed child peeks out from the shadows, looking just as nervous as everyone as our guy waves awkwardly at the little one, trying to be friendly despite the tension, while the child blushes and stares back, seemingly captivated by the sudden interaction with a stranger as the pair starts to walk away with the small child clinging tightly to the cloak, while the demon kin turns back to offer some parting advice, trusting our guy to understand. Takuma questions if the demon kin are truly enemies, seeking to understand the bigger picture, as the visitor explains that she grew up playing with them despite the common prejudices while she admits to keeping their secret meetings hidden from the public eye for safety, as she stresses that not every demon is inherently evil, urging him to stay open-minded while the sun rises over the horizon, marking the start of a brand new day. As the little one shows off her new outfit, looking absolutely adorable in the light while the girls gush over how perfect the gear looks on her, praising the design as she beams with pure joy, feeling incredibly grateful for the kindness of her friends, while the whole group gathers outside the shop, ready to embark on their next adventure as they wave goodbye and head out together, excited for the journey that lies ahead. Everyone agrees it is time to head back and continue their mission without delay, as our guy looks completely exhausted after pulling an all-nighter to finish that gear while he accidentally leans against his friend, catching her totally off guard in public, as she complains about him being heavy while he mumbles about his late-night crafting, while she suddenly gets an idea and decides to offer him some much-needed comfort as she lets him rest his head on her lap so he can finally relax. While he drifts off and she realizes her legs are starting to fall asleep as the group wanders through a bustling town, checking out the various local shops while she beams with excitement, telling him how much she loves their shopping trip as she pauses to look at him, wondering if he is enjoying the day too. This group suddenly notices a strange sound echoing through the quiet, empty street, while a tiny girl wanders into view, calling out for someone in a panic, as she starts to tear up, clearly distressed because she cannot find her mother, while the group watches her stumble around, feeling completely helpless in the dark night as the little one continues to sniffle, rubbing her eyes while looking for help while they gently approach her, asking if she got separated from her parent nearby as the poor kid breaks down in tears, overwhelmed by the scary situation, while the group realizes they need to step up and comfort the lost child. As they pull her into a warm hug, trying to calm her racing heart while they reassure her that they are not bad people, offering some much-needed kindness. Noelle gently asks the little girl who she is and why she is out alone, as the kid tearfully calls out for her older sister in a moment of panic while Noelle immediately steps up, declaring herself the big sister to comfort the child, as she tries to act all responsible and brave to keep the situation under control. While the group gathers around to learn that the little one is named Mei-chan, as Mei-chan struggles to remember the advice she was given for when she gets lost, while Noelle recalls the standard protocol of heading to the guild for help with lost kids, as she excitedly suggests they take Mei-chan to the guild to find her missing mother while the relieved child agrees to hold hands, feeling much safer with her new friends. As the whole group sets off toward the guild to resolve this little mystery together, Mei-chan timidly approaches the group, trying to get their attention while looking quite nervous, as Noelle steps up to take charge, promising to handle things like a big sister while the little one eagerly asks for directions to the nearest adventure guild building, as Takuma points them in the right direction, giving clear instructions on how to go. While Mei-chan looks up at her new hero with wide, sparkling eyes full of admiration, as she shyly expresses her gratitude, feeling much more confident with her new friends nearby while she gushes over how cool Noelle is, completely charmed by her sudden protective nature as she takes a step forward, only to trip over her own feet in excitement while she takes a clumsy tumble onto the stone path, catching everyone by surprise. As she sits up with a tearful pout, feeling a bit embarrassed by her mishap, Noelle checks on the fallen kid, making sure she's not hurt after that clumsy tumble while she puffs out her chest to brag about being a tough, capable adventurer, as a mysterious guy suddenly reaches out, offering to help them find the local guild while he flashes a friendly smile, acting like a total saint to win their trust as the girls fall for his act immediately, thanking him for being so incredibly kind. While he points down a dark, suspicious alleyway, claiming it is a shortcut to town, as the innocent pair trots along behind him, completely oblivious to any potential danger ahead, while the guy's expression shifts into a sinister grin, revealing his true, dark intentions as he looms over them with a predatory look, making their situation look pretty grim while he mocks their naivety, realizing they are about to learn a very hard lesson. Takuma immediately warns the little one about the dangers of following complete strangers around, while she starts to tear up, feeling overwhelmed by the sudden stern lecture as Noelle steps in to defend her, snapping at the guy for being too harsh, while she puffs up her cheeks in a cute display of righteous indignation as they decide to move on, leaving the awkward moment behind them for good while the two girls happily skip along, clearly enjoying their newfound sisterly bond. as they finally spot the mother waiting nearby, signaling a happy end to the search, while the relieved parent rushes over to embrace her daughter with pure joy as the mother turns to thank Noelle for her kindness and help during the crisis, while our girl blushes, acting all proud and responsible like a true big sister. This group finally arrives at the guild, relieved to have reached their destination safely, as Takuma looks around, scanning the area to see if anyone is searching for the child. When suddenly the little one spots her family and dashes forward with pure unbridled excitement, while she leaps into her mother's arms, apologizing for wandering off and causing such a scare as the mother expresses her deep gratitude to the group for keeping her daughter safe, while the little girl waves a cheerful goodbye to her new friends, beaming with joy as Takuma and the others watch them leave, feeling a sense of accomplishment for their while he praises the little one for being so brave during such a stressful ordeal. As he reaches out to pat her head, offering a final moment of genuine warm comfort while she looks up with teary eyes, clearly touched by the kindness they showed her today. Mei-chan lets out a final sob, proud of herself for holding back the tears earlier as her sister gently comforts her, acknowledging how hard she tried to be brave today. While the little one looks up with wide eyes, clearly inspired by her sister's protective nature, as everyone agrees that she is well on her way to becoming just as cool while the girl beams with joy, feeling truly touched by the kind words from her friends, as Takuma jokes about working hard to keep those smiles going, lightening the mood instantly while the group eventually makes their way back to the familiar streets of the town. As a certain someone decides to test out a bold new outfit for their journey while she wonders if this daring look will finally catch our guy's attention for once, as she nervously checks to see if Sophia is around to witness the big reveal. Sophia makes a grand entrance, clearly excited to show off her look to the group, while Takuma gets totally flustered, quickly shutting down the reveal to keep things professional as she pivots to notice a change in his aura, sensing he has leveled up. While he proudly explains his new enchantment skills, showing off his growth to the girls as the little one twirls in her custom cloak, feeling like a true adventurer at last, while the group shares a lighthearted moment, deciding it is finally time to cross borders as the sun shines down on the path ahead, signaling the start of their journey while they reach the bridge, finding it open and bustling with plenty of travelers nearby. As the crew steps forward into the crowd, taking in the sights of the town, while they finally spot the borderline, realizing they have officially entered new territory together. Noelle tells everyone to hold hands as they prepare to cross the border together, with the whole group sprinting forward in high spirits to start their new mission as they officially cross the line into the territory of the Kingdom of Recknold. While the girls discuss the castle ahead, which is famously surrounded by a lake, as Takuma agrees that heading straight to the castle is the best plan for now, while the excitement builds up as they realize they are finally close to their goal as the group pauses to chat about the local geography and the number of lakes, while a nearby vendor catches their eye with some delicious-looking snacks on display as the girls suggest grabbing some strawberry milk treats to share with the group. While they notice Leash seems unusually uninterested in the food despite her usual appetite. Noticing her hesitation, our guy asks what is on her mind as she starts to open up about her feelings, only to be interrupted by chaos when a sudden scream echoes through the air, signaling a dangerous monster attack as a massive B-rank river serpent crashes into the scene, threatening to destroy everything while the group scrambles to react, with calls for defensive barriers and magical buffs. As our guy steps up to the front line, telling everyone to leave it to him while he engages the beast with his sword, dodging its powerful, sweeping strikes as he maneuvers through the fray, narrowly avoiding a direct hit from the creature while he quickly secures the area and checks on his companions to ensure they are safe, as the onlookers cheer in relief, hailing him as their savior for ending the threat. Takuma looks genuinely stunned as the crowd starts calling him their savior after the fight, while he calmly picks up a magic stone, noting that he expected another bridge incident, as he coordinates with the local guards to handle the repairs and the monster aftermath, while a mysterious silver-haired stranger approaches the group to check if everyone is okay, as our guy stares at the newcomer, trying to figure out who this person is. While he wonders if they have met before, feeling a strange sense of familiarity here as the stranger confirms his identity, leaving the group surprised by his sudden appearance, while the newcomer kneels down, explaining he was sent by the elves to help them, as Takuma realizes this is the person Leash mentioned earlier during their long journey, while the guy introduces himself as Mao, officially joining the crew as a new ally. This new guy introduces himself as Reincarnates, a hero on a grand quest to save the world, while the girls are completely dazzled by his shiny, heroic aura and sparkling personality as Takuma realizes this guy is another person from his world, feeling a bit outclassed, while he quietly admits he is glad he kept his own background a secret for now as the group stands there in awkward silence, processing the sudden arrival of this new hero. While Reincarnates insists on helping them out and suggests they all stay at the castle tonight as Leash expresses her relief that they finally met up with him after all this time, while the little one thanks him for guiding them safely to this point in their journey, as the mood shifts instantly when the realization hits that this is the end of the road, while the poor girl panics upon learning that she and Leash have to part ways immediately. Reincarnates insists that the little one should join his party for the upcoming journey, but Takuma shuts that down immediately, arguing the path ahead is way too dangerous, while the hero pledges to protect her with everything he has, showing his resolve as the girl looks up with teary eyes, clearly struggling to accept the sudden news, while Takuma suggests they stay in touch through letters to keep their bond alive. as Leash promises to write constantly and share all their future adventures with her while the two share a heartfelt hug, promising to reunite once the quest ends. As the group exchanges final goodbyes, feeling the weight of this bittersweet moment together, while she turns to Takuma one last time, clearly moved by his kindness today as they share a firm, final handshake, wishing each other safety on their separate paths. Walking side by side, the group finally prepares to leave their new friends behind, as the massive, scenic castle looms in the distance, reflecting over the calm lake while Takuma gently guides the crew forward, keeping everyone focused on the mission ahead as they navigate the busy streets, meeting up with others to finalize their travel plans while the majestic Recknold Castle stands tall, marking the next major stop on their journey. As the girls admire the beautiful sunset views, trying to keep their spirits high today while they pause to grab some snacks, though the mood remains a bit heavy overall as Takuma offers a comforting head pat, sensing the little one is feeling quite down while she leans into him for a hug, seeking some warmth during this emotional farewell as she admits how much she will miss Leash, clearly struggling with the sudden separation. Seeing the little one so upset makes everyone feel down, especially with the sudden goodbyes, and they start blaming the Divine Wolf for forcing such a painful and abrupt separation, while the girl wonders if praying to the gods could somehow bring Leash back to them. As the mood gets a little awkward with some playful teasing about how to fix things while our guy tries to comfort the little one, keeping her distracted from the heavy atmosphere. As he admits that he just cannot accept how things ended with their friend leaving, while the girl voices her suspicion that Leash really wanted to stay with them all along as they speculate that she is only following orders because she is such a good person, while Takuma questions if forcing her to follow a mission is truly the right path forward, as a sudden realization hits the little one, leaving her completely shocked by the hidden truth. Realizing she was way too focused on her own feelings, the girl decides to talk, and she finally understands that she needs to listen to what Leash truly wants as she turns to Takuma, asking for a favor to help snap him back, while she requests that he punch her in the face to wake her up, but she quickly changes her mind, asking him to just pinch her cheek instead as he delivers a firm, painful pinch that leaves her reeling from the shock. While the sting clears his head, making him realize that Leash's happiness is paramount as the group decides to stop following divine orders and go find their friend, while they look toward the distant, glowing castle where their mission must now change as they charge ahead with renewed purpose, ready to break the rules for her. Reincarnates stands alone in the courtyard, his posture radiating a cold and calculated intensity. While Takuma watches from afar, sensing that something feels deeply wrong about this guy as the hero grips his sword tightly, his eyes hidden behind a veil of shadow. Meanwhile, the church leaders issue a divine decree to track down the prophesied savior, demanding that their knights deploy immediately to secure the target at any cost, as the order is given to bring the savior back to the church headquarters. While the knights whisper among themselves, wondering if their new leader is truly heroic as Reincarnates snaps at his subordinates, ordering them to stop talking and start moving, while his men exchange nervous glances, clearly intimidated by their captain's aggressive, sharp demeanor as it becomes clear that his obsession with this mission is driven by a dark past. Witnessing the aftermath of a brutal conflict, the warrior reflects on his traumatic past and vows to never stop training until he finally tracks down the Demon King as he continues his lonely search, scouring the land for any sign of hope, until he stumbles upon a completely ordinary guy resting peacefully in the grass while he struggles to believe that such a plain person could be the prophesied savior, as he wonders if this mysterious traveler might actually be a powerful mage in disguise, but his doubts vanish when he sees the guy effortlessly protect the little one. While he keeps a close watch on his target, analyzing every single move made as he inspects the strange, unfamiliar device the guy carries from another world, while he questions if this unassuming person is truly capable of saving their entire world. This high-ranking officials gather in the shadows, questioning if the prophesied savior is truly dead, as the subordinates report that they arrived too late to stop the creature's lethal attack. While they examine the strange, otherworldly items recovered from the scene with deep, growing concern, as the leaders worry about the public fallout if news of the savior's demise spreads out, while a new, stoic warrior is officially tasked with taking up the mantle of the savior, as he reflects on the heavy burden of this sudden, life-altering duty placed upon him while he accepts his new identity, vowing to carry out the mission for the greater good. As the scene shifts to a quiet room where a girl lies awake, thinking about tomorrow while she panics, wondering if her time spent traveling with Takuma has made her too soft as the group enjoys a final, peaceful moment together, unaware of the looming divine complications ahead. Looking back at their time together, she wears a soft, bittersweet smile of pure nostalgia while the moonlit castle stands silent, marking the end of their journey under the stars.